yo, and hello and welcome to the 151st episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go for free feed subscribers every Wednesday in audio format on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast platforms, as well as in video format on YouTube so you can see us in stunning high definition, where we need you to smash subscribe and punch that that notification bell. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. You can find us online at createforsanity.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter to never miss an episode and buy sick t-shirts from our shop. Also, be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, JAMAL Jafra, alongside Brent VR Bass.
Yes, that is me.
Yeah, he's the VR edition of Brent.
The VR edition. Yeah.
Built from the ground up.
With VR in mind.
Yeah. It's always good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like real life.
Yeah. So what's been up, man? How's life treating you?
Well, it's been pretty good. All of y'all that are, you know, part of the free feed, you know, the cheap skate, you know, like we don't pay anybody, you know, on Patreon group of people. No, I'm just kidding. We love you guys. But for those of you that heard the new ad, just let me know. Did you guys think that was that was a good one? I was really going for like a very bleak, like, you know, feel with it.
I was
pretty
a little
fun.
worried. Yeah, when I heard the ad, I originally thought the apocalypse had started, and you know. Yeah,
I was going for War of the Worlds type situation where when people first hear it, they're like, "Oh God, this is happening! I gotta go to their Patreon and support the uprising."
That's what I thought. You know, I went to the Patreon and I tried to subscribe, but I can't subscribe to my own.
Yeah,
Patreon.
you're just paying yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, for sure, if you know, it's not mandatory. You don't have to go pay us, but I mean, like, if you want to help us grow a little bit, you know.
But if you're cool,
yeah,
you know,
if you're cool,
you want to be with the cool kids.
Be a lot cooler if you did. Like that whole situation. No, it just helps us. Like Brent's about to get a new computer here pretty soon. He's going to be helping. We're going to be doing new videos. We're going to
be putting shit out.
Oh yeah, we're stepping up our content game. But anyways, yeah. So that has been going down, and then I went to Austin this weekend to go see our boy Kenny Canesto.
Oh, that's always a good time. How are they doing down there in the Austin?
Well, Kenny's new band, Terry in the Towns, which actually they're on Spotify if you want to listen to them. But they played like I think it's like their third show or something.
I think I saw some pics from this.
Yeah, dude, it was beautiful. It was amazing. They did really good. It reminded me
like a pretty good crowd too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they had like at least like I think it was around like 100 people in there, and most of those people came to see Terry in the Towns.
Oh, I'm so proud of my boys.
I know, dude. It was so good. It was amazing. But yeah, so I had fun in Austin. You know, me and AJ went, and then
me and the lead singer of Terry and the Towns. No,
that's Kenny. That's Kenny. No, but you know, Brent and I had a band like back whenever we were, you know, in high school, and we had like a lot of people that would come and just rep us because they were our friends and stuff, you know. And so like all these older people that were like in college, they would totally be like, "Oh, you guys should come play a show with us," just because we would bring everybody. So like we would show up. The problem is that we would open, and this is what happened with Terry and the Towns. They opened, and everybody was there to see them, you know. And so as soon as they played, everybody just left.
Oh, and the headlining act?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The leftover acts, like, which were actually pretty good. Like, one was, like, this weird, like, ska-ish band, like, right after Kenny's. And so, like, you know, I'm pretty wasted. I don't really care what people think. So, me and AJ and Aaron Brown and like a couple other people, we just start like, you know, just going ham, like dancing up front, like just trying to get everybody like psyched, dude. It was so fun just to kind of like just jam to a weird ska band. How often do you get the chance to do that?
It was probably fun being in that environment too, you know, again.
Oh,
with
yeah,
dude. Kenny and all them doing their thing, you know. That's a good time.
Oh, yeah, man. I was out there skanking, you know, the old ska dance.
Skanking the old skas?
Skanking the old scats. Dude.
Dang, man.
Scatting and
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't
but
either.
It sounds,
I'm making this up.
It sounds fun. It sounds like a good time for sure.
But anyway, so yeah, we did that. And then just to round it all off, I finished Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated last night.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's
the ultimate topping off to that dank weekend.
Oh yeah, dude. It's a little bittersweet, you know. I no longer have Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated to watch. You know, it's always the sad part about finishing a show. But it was great. It was probably my favorite Scooby-Doo series, just because it had that whole story that plays through the entire 2 seasons, you know, and like builds up to this big ending story. People die.
People die?
People die. I'm not even going to like...
People lose their life.
Literally, like, this girl gets fucking blasted, dude. Like,
and she doesn't, like, turn out to be the monster later or something? Like,
no, because
they don't pull the mask off of the fucking grasshopper that's, like, as big as a human, and it turns out to be her the whole time?
No. She was actually on the good guys' side. She was, like, on Mystery Incorporated side. And so she helps them get through this, like... so it starts out every single time it's like a monster in a mask, but towards the end, like some parallel universe shit starts happening, and they even have like references to like Twin Peaks and stuff like that. It gets really weird. Like
the little midget from Twin Peaks walks in.
He does. He does.
Really?
He literally does, yes.
Like exactly like that?
Yes, it is him. Like, in that room and everything. Like,
that's hilarious.
With the curtains and, like, the checkerboard, like, bullshit. Yeah, like, it's literally all that happens. And so the way that they kind of play off the people dying is that, like, they end up...
They go to the Shadow Realm.
Well, they destroy the timeline that they're in. So everything that happened is basically, like, moved to a different timeline where none of the crazy shit was going down, but they all remember it. It's weird. I just ruined it for everybody. But like, but there's this chick, they call her Hot Dog Water because she smells like hot dog water. And, but she turns out to be their friend towards the end. And she like grabs one of the enemies and she's like, oh, you know, I'll break his neck, you know, like you guys run, you know, she's like holding him. And like he gets away and all of his like robots come up and they just pull out these like fucking like miniguns and they got it like point blank at her, and like you think like, oh, somebody's gonna save her or something, but then it goes out to where Mystery Incorporated is and they're like running, and like we had subtitles on, so you just hear brrr, like it just goes off and the subtitles were Bratata. So this bitch got fucking...
She got Bratata.
She got Bratata, and that was it. She was dead. Like I was like, there's no way. I was like, it's gonna go back and it's gonna show that she escaped somehow or something. No, she
got Bratata.
She got Bratata, dude.
Woo, that's hardcore, dude.
It would have only been like...
Is this rated MA, dude?
It might as well have been.
TVMA? Mature audiences?
I'm surprised more parents weren't like freaking out about the show when it came out.
Yeah, they killed her execution style. That's
straight up. And she's like terrified. Like you see her in her face like death is approaching, like, and there's nothing she can do about it. And it's like,
come on, Scoob, we gotta go.
Yeah, no, she's just
we gotta leave her there, Scoob.
Yeah, no, Velma's like, no, you know, like HW or whatever, and she's like, go, Velma. She's like, there's nothing you can do now.
It's probably way less hardcore than I'm imagining in my head, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm imagining some really fucked off shit. Like, I'm imagining them all running off in the distance, and then just like this gunshot and all the birds fly out of the trees.
It's exactly like that.
Really?
But there's no birds because they're in a parallel dimension.
Where no birds exist?
Well, they're like running on this like weird bridge like between like doors.
Oh.
It's so weird. But they're like running and you hear the guns go off and like suddenly all their faces are just like, oh shit, Hot Dog Water's fucking dead, bro. And it's like this went from Scooby-Doo to Scooby fucking Doo.
Scooby-Don't. Oh, gosh.
Anyways, but yeah, so you need to watch that. Everybody should watch that show. It's
Lord.
really good.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. My heart's still going. You know, it's still racing.
Got me kind of hyped. Like, I can't imagine the Scooby-Doo characters in that scenario. That's hardcore.
It's brutal, dude.
Yeah.
And anyways, what did you do all week? It's your birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Brent.
It is my birthday. I'm too old. I try not to dwell on it too much today. You know, it's one of those birthdays. I think I'm past the age of like, oh, yay, it's my birthday. I'm like, oh, God. It's my birthday.
It's like, oh, yeah. You know, it's like, please don't remind me.
It's like, no. No, it's my birthday. I've had a pretty good little birthday, actually. I woke up, I slept in late. It was chill. I woke up, my mom gave me some t-shirts. Shout out to this sweet Atari shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, sweet, dude.
And my girlfriend got me, like, this little thing I've been wanting for my Oculus where you put it around the, like, face part. Because, like, the normal face part that comes with it is, like, this foam piece, and it, like,
soaks up all the
sweat. Soaks up all the sweat. And like if you do like a exercise game or something, you get to this point where like you literally have this soaking wet headset, you know, and like, you know, an hour or two later it's still wet, and it's gross because you don't want to like, you know, show your like, you know, let a friend try and it's like soaking wet or something. So she got me this like silicone thing you put over the foam, and it basically turns it into the PlayStation, you know, like how the PlayStation has that like rubber, you know, thing, and it blocks all the light. It's pretty sweet. It really makes all the difference. So I've been hyped about that. Other than that, I borrowed a computer and I've been side loading my Quest, which I'll talk more about and currently playing, but basically I like hacked into the mainframe of the Quest, and I've been like getting like demos and stuff that aren't official, and like it's really cool. It's the way to do it.
Nice. So like beta type shit?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got my Quest set to developer mode, and like I'm just getting all this cool shit. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, but other than that, I've just been hanging out, doing my thing.
I like that. Yeah.
Kind of an uneventful weekend for me, or week in general, you know what I mean?
Sweet, dude. That wouldn't have been the case if you would have watched Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
I guess so. I'm gonna go watch that tonight, even though now I know the whole twist at the end. But I know Hot Dog Water's gonna die. I'm gonna see Hot Dog Water, and I'm gonna be like, no, I know your fate, Hot Dog Water.
There's other characters that died too, so don't worry.
Okay.
That one was just the most like ridiculous. Like it was like, damn, that bitch she just ate lead, dude.
Everybody dies, and then Shaggy finds the Infinity Stones at the end of the movie and like snaps everybody back into existence. Like
basically, they were trying. Like it's just so weird to me. Like I just picture this like bullet riddled body like in Scooby-Doo, just like laying there like lifeless. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in this show? Anyways, but yeah, so I guess we'll jump into the news. But before we do, by the way, Chad came on last week, so I believe he's going to officially start streaming on our Mixer channel, which is GameSpeak Podcast, on either next week or the week after, and it'll be on Mondays and Thursdays, I believe. So I'll keep y'all updated on that if you want to watch.
Definitely want to tune in to Chad.
For sure.
He's going to be laying it down the law on these fools. So.
Yeah, and we'll probably be jumping in and out of those streams with him every now and then just to be there. Anyways, so we're about to jump into the video game news, and just so you guys know, we're using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we do not claim any of the material as our own. We are simply giving commentary on said articles. Let's start this off with Eddie McCooch at GameSpot. The Last of Us Part 2 will reportedly carry an M for mature rating in the United States. A lot like Scooby-Doo. The game's website, via DualShockers, shows the M rating from the ESRB, but the ratings group has yet to officially publish its rating for the game, so it may only be a placeholder. That being said, the rating is filled out with multiple content descriptors, so it does at least appear to be official looking in nature. The content descriptors include blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, strong language, and use of drugs. The original Last of Us had an M rating as well, but there are some differences in the content descriptors. That game featured warnings for blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, and strong language, but no nudity.
Oh my god, who cares?
Are you kidding me, dude? You don't care about them digital titties?
Them digital.
Actually, we don't even know if it's going to be that. It might be a digital cock, dude.
Yeah, it could be a digital cock.
Like maybe we finally see Joel's giant cock.
You know, it might not be any of the in-game characters. Maybe they'll just be like flipping through a porno magazine or something. You know, who knows?
Or it could be a corpse. You know, just like a fully
could be a dead corpse. Dead body. That's actually probably more likely. You know?
Did you ever play the Dante's Inferno game that was like a God of War ripoff?
Yeah, in the lust level, they had all the titties popping out
Not
of the
just
wall
the
and stuff.
titties. You fight the big demon with the giant penis. You don't remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He's just like walking around and just flopping.
That was a dope game, though.
Yeah, the physics were next level, dude, on that penis.
As far as like God of War knockoffs go, like OG God of War knockoffs, that was like one of the top tier.
Definitely. It was like a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, in my opinion. Anyways,
I agree with you.
But yeah, so just in case you were, unaware, the Last of Us Part 2 is going to be violent and sexual. Maybe.
I would expect nothing less. I'll be mad if it's not violent and sexual.
Right?
You know what I mean? All right. So we've got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare in-game charity campaign raising money for the Australian bushfire crisis has come to an end, and it brought in a lot of money. Activision has announced that the campaign raised more than $1.6 million through sales of the Outback Relief Pack. The money will go to the charity Direct Relief. The group is already putting the money into action, as Activision said Direct Relief is providing emergency and health supplies across Australia. Are those fires still burning right now?
I think it's just like relief at this point. I think it's just like helping the people that were. I could be wrong though. I'm ignorant on this, so like there might still be bushfires, but I think because they had like a bunch of heavy rain, I think they finally got the fires out, and this is just to help the people that lost their homes and families and all that stuff. That's my guess. I don't want to say that I'm for sure.
Well, it's cool that everybody came together and bought the charity DLC and stuff.
Yeah, everybody always hates on Call of Duty, including myself. But this one time, they came together and did something good.
This time,
they get a pass. Good job, guys. So, by way of Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot, last week, Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries released a recruitment video that had eagle-eyed fans poring over the clues regarding the anticipated sequel. The video featured some off-screen footage of what is presumably Halo Infinite, but didn't seem to initially be noteworthy. That is, at least until some fans cross-referenced the footage with a screenshot of Halo Infinite that leaked almost a month ago. The screenshot in question was notable because of a single UI icon it featured, suggesting that Master Chief would have a grappling hook to navigate the new open world that Infinite is introducing. Fans speculated on Reset Era that the UI in 343's new recruitment video matched that of the leak, lending it credibility. 343 Industries franchise development director Frank O'Connor was following the speculation, even going as far to cheekily link to a now infamous Halo 4 leak when responding to a question over why Halo leaks always have terrible quality. Addressing the speculation directly, however, O'Connor replied on Twitter saying that 343 combs through all footage that they put out and that no gameplay footage in the recruitment video is of any importance. Quote, we scrubbed these for accidental leaks, right? Thanks for nothing, 4K. Gray box forge thing you're looking at doesn't show anything meaningful and isn't even necessarily content from Infinite. Sometimes they're just test environments or cutouts of H5 prototyping work, and sometimes just stuff from dev that we decided doesn't constitute anything meaningful or meaningful intended to ship. What do you think? Do you think that he's just trying to cover up now? Or, do you think there's going to be a grappling hook mechanic in Halo Infinite?
No. No, I don't think there is going to be a grappling hook mechanic in Halo Infinite. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very Halo,
Well, Halo Infinite's supposed to be like a reboot,
Yeah, I get it, but I think for the purposes of the grappling hook, it would be like if you didn't have vehicles or something, which is like the mainstay of Halo. I think
that's true.
You want to get around quickly. You probably want to jump in a Ghost or something.
But maybe it's limited. Maybe you can only use it for certain things. And obviously a vehicle would be a lot quicker than using a grappling hook at short distances and stuff like that, or long distances. I thought about it and I was like, it would make sense because the Halo vehicles at one point were like the dopest shit like ever. You know, that's one of the things that made Halo so awesome whenever it first came out was the fact that it had these really easily controlled warthogs and, you know, ghosts and stuff like that. And then later the banshees and stuff. But obviously over time it kind of got stale, you know, so what if this is their way to, you know, bring it back around to try something new that like maybe they make a hook shot that becomes the coolest hook shot in video games, you know, like the most put together hook shot, you know, it just works, you know what I'm saying? Like
maybe, but I feel like if they were going to try to innovate like that again, they would do something that hasn't already been done, you know?
But what's the last game you played with like a hook shot as like an active mechanic for a multiplayer shooter?
For a multiplayer shooter? Was it Titanfall? Did Titanfall have
No. Titanfall was like all parkour.
I don't know.
It was like 007 Nightfire or some shit, like on the GameCube. And that shit was dope as fuck.
I don't know. I mean, I could see it being cool. Don't get me wrong. I definitely see the potential. I just don't think that that's what... I think that you're more likely to see jetpacks or something.
But they've already done jetpacks.
Do what?
They've already done jetpacks.
Oh, Apex Legends has the grappling hook, but it's only that one character.
Yeah, so what if they're taking cues from that then?
I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem right to me. I don't think they're going to do it, but I wouldn't be mad if they did do it. You know what I mean? It's not one of those things that would, like, break the game for me. I think that would be a lot of fun. I just don't...
It'd be interesting.
I don't see them doing it, you know?
I agree. I don't really see it either. I just, for something in me, wants to see what that looks like, you know? But anyways.
It'd be cool if it was like a game mode. Where you like a multiplayer mode where everybody
has
or something.
Hook shots,
and maybe like one level in the single player campaign where you have like, all right, Chief, we've equipped you with a grappling hook or something, you know. And then
you haven't needed it for 4 games, but but here you go.
Maybe they just invented it or
5 games. My bad. Okay.
Oh
anyways.
gosh. Okay. Let's see. The upcoming Nicolas Cage movie, where the actor plays himself and gets mixed up with a drug kingpin. You remember we talked about this?
Yeah.
And later becomes an informant for the CIA, now has a release date. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent will hit theaters on March 19th, 2021. Film studio Lionsgate has confirmed. I'm really excited about this. I know it's not video game news, but
but it's pretty interesting.
I can't wait to watch it. I don't know.
I like the title.
Yeah,
I can relate. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's gonna be really funny. I don't know, like
yeah, for sure. By way of Jeremy Winslow at GameSpot, after a wave of criticism was directed toward Activision Blizzard for its handling of Warcraft 3 Reforged, the company has issued an apology for the problems and outlined a couple of patches currently in the works. Warcraft community manager Randy Kivix Jordan took to the company's forums to discuss Blizzard's plans for Reforged, specifically that the team is quote-unquote fully committed to supporting the game and the Warcraft 3 community for a long time to come. This includes preparing a patch scheduled to go live later this week that will address mismatched color and shading modules, portrait animations, and audio bugs, UI fixes, and more. Most notably, though, Jordan takes aim at the cutscene controversy. Many fans have noted that certain cutscenes failed to live up to what Blizzard had previously shown during BlizzCon 2018. Jordan said the lack of reanimated cutscenes was essentially to keep the original spirit of Warcraft 3 intact. Quote, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game, Jordan said, so we did nothing. We went a little deeper into the thought process behind that at the show, but the main takeaway is that the campaigns tell one of the classic stories in Warcraft history, and we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive these unforgettable moments as they were, albeit rebuilt with new animations and the higher fidelity art. We want to say that we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, and we'd like to share our plans for what's coming next.
Cool.
I'll tell you what's coming next. China. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Oh, gosh. You're
yeah.
not wrong.
No.
Let's see. The Behemoth, developers behind indie action games like Battle Block Theater and Castle Crashers, has now announced that it's working on a brand new entry in the long-dormant Alien Hominid franchise.
Yeah.
Alien Hominid Invasion is the Behemoth's next project. The studio confirmed with a brief 40-second teaser trailer. Invasion is not a prequel or a sequel, nor it is a remaster or a remake. The Behemoth is, in a developer Q&A said Invasion is a new game within the Alien Hominid franchise. And yes, Alien Hominid Invasion is co-op. Every time you support the Behemoth, you support co-op games, the studio said. We need more of them in the industry, and we're just so happy that we can keep making them.
Man, Alien Hominid goes so far back.
Right? I remember the Flash game.
Yeah, dude. I used to play it on Newgrounds, and then I remember it came to GameCube, and I was so excited.
Even though I had it on Game Boy Advance too, or something like that.
Something.
One of those classic DS or something. I don't know.
It's a really hard fucking game though, but it was one of those games that made me want to get into game development. I was like, I feel like I could do this. I feel like I could make this because the art was so simple and the game mechanics were so simple, yet it was so fun and challenging.
It was satisfying. It was violent and cute. It had a lot of things going for it.
Very early 2000s type situation, with the over the top bloody brutalness and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. Anyways, what you got? Oh wait, it's me.
Yeah,
sorry. Timur Hussein at GameSpot says Sony has detailed its financial performance for the 3-month period ended December 31st, 2019. So I'm not going to read all this, but basically they had declining sales in the last 3 months, and they project declining sales on the consoles for the rest of the year, and that's
Sony?
Obvious. Yeah,
that's just to be expected.
Yeah,
sure.
It wasn't really news. It's just,
It's kind of like GameStop. Recently everybody's like, "Oh, GameStop's doing so bad right now." It's like, well, I mean, they are doing pretty bad, but it is kind of to be expected that they wouldn't be selling as much hardware and stuff right now, especially with the new generation. At the end of this year, GameStop's going to get a huge boost. You know what I mean? Same with all these companies. The
thing about GameSpot is that they have to make it.
Let's make it to the end of the year, and maybe you'll survive.
And Sony, that's not a problem. Sony's declining sales have been expected. And it's been expected since they've been in the console business. Every time they know that it's this is the year all the new consoles get announced. The moment you announce a new console, your sales are going to decline on your current console. That's that's given.
And also with lack of exclusives coming out, I think
Ghost
we might
of Tsushima.
I think Last of Us Part 2, if it does come out before the end of this life cycle and doesn't get pushed back again, I think it will have a little bit of a pop. I think a couple more consoles will probably get sold with that game. You know what I mean?
2 more to be exact.
I mean, real talk. I think we'll have at least
I know
add
what
$1 million to the total or something, because at this point they'll probably be giving them away too. You'll have the $150 console plus the game bundle or something. Everybody's gonna be buying that shit.
It's gonna be dope. Yeah. Anyways, what you got, Brent?
Okay, so the guy, I'm not going to read this whole article, but the guy who directed the 2006 Silent Hill movie, which wasn't the worst movie ever. I
liked it.
As far as video game movies go, it's pretty damn good.
It's one of my favorite horror movies, honestly.
I love it. It's got kind of a cult following too. Well, this guy is coming back and he's doing another Silent Hill movie. He didn't do the sequel to that first one. He did the 2006 one. Then they did another one that he wasn't involved with, which was very mediocre compared to the first one.
I never watched the sequel to it.
It wasn't as good. But he's coming back. He's doing another Silent Hill. But what I'm excited about is he's actually working on a video game adaptation or a movie adaptation of the video game Project Zero. Project Zero, which is in America. Fatal Frame, yeah. And I love these games. You know what I mean? Fatal Frame is such a scary concept because it's basically you can't see the ghosts without the camera or whatever. So you're spend the whole game looking through your viewfinder and I don't know. It's
lots of popping up.
But also, I don't know, it's just a really atmospheric, creepy game. I think the last one was on the Wii or something. Wii U, and they used the gamepad to where you, used it like your camera and you were looking around. It was cool. I mean,
it'd be really good for Switch,
oh, man.
Be great with the gyroscopic, moving the thing around like they did with the Wii U. But the problem with the Wii U is that nobody played it.
I think, honestly, they've kind of done a movie with the same kind of concept before. That movie Shudder. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I remember Shudder.
It's a great movie, and I always kind of related it to Fatal Frame. I was I feel like they were definitely inspired in some way.
Absolutely. I feel like they can't make this movie I just feel like it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
you know?
You don't think it'll be as good as Shudder, or do you think it'll?
No,
I think it's got potential.
Especially since it'll get compared to Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think honestly they should just make this new Silent Hill movie. I think if they make a new Silent Hill movie and it's good, that'll give people that feeling of wanting to play a new Silent Hill game, whether Kojima's attached to it or not.
Totally.
You know, but they have to do it right.
Totally, and that's probably what they're going for. I bet. You know, I bet this is getting funding from Kojima. I mean, not Kojima, but from
definitely going to get funding from Konami.
Konami.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Sorry, Konami, Kojima. There's too many Ko's, you know.
And company.
But there's probably the reason they're doing that is like you were saying, because they're going to drop that game or whatever. You know, I hope so. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe so. Eddie McCooch at GameSpot says 2020 is shaping up to be a very big and important year in gaming. Both Sony and Microsoft are releasing next-generation consoles this year, while Nintendo has confirmed that it will not release new hardware this year. The Japanese gaming giant has now commented on competing with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, saying the company is not afraid. Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa said during a Japanese Q&A translated by Video Games Chronicles that the PS5 and Xbox Series X will not have a meaningful negative impact on the Switch. The target audiences for the Switch and the PS5/Xbox Series X are different. Furukawa said, quote, "We do not believe that the business trends of other companies will have a significant impact on our business." He said, "We will explain the specific figures for the next fiscal year in our next fiscal year announcement, but I think there will certainly be a change in the environment as new products of our competitors appear," Furukawa added, which makes no sense to me because he just said it wouldn't affect anything, but then he said it would. So
I think it'll definitely affect
the
something. Yeah, I mean, but it's not gonna I don't think it'll put them out of business or anything by any means, you know. But it'll have some kind of effect for sure.
It'll have a huge effect on third-party support, you know, which right now the Switch is still getting some decent third-party support with the likes of Bethesda and, you know, even getting the old Assassin's Creed games and stuff like that from Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment these new consoles come out, you can bet all of your money that you will not see another third-party game on the Switch, at least until it's upgraded. There's just no way. They can't be making a PS5 game.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking you're going to see third-party games, but they're going to be so massively downgraded. You're going to start seeing, light versions of these games like they do with Oculus Quest. It'll be you know, Cyberpunk 2077 Lite or something.
Cyberpunk
you know what
2076.
I mean? Yeah. It'll be like a smaller, you know, chunked off version of the game or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You will not see a Cyberpunk game on Switch.
Not that. I'm just my example.
Get a 2D pixelated version of it.
They're going to start doing like they did with the Wii U, where it's just
which was horrible. That's what killed the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is they have to release an upgraded version of the Switch. They just have to. You know, if they do not, they will see the end of the Switch at an early age. You know, the Switch is only 3 years old. They have to do it at the right
time, though. You know what I mean? They can't just drop it. They're smart to not do it this year. They need to wait till after all the new consoles come out and after all the hype dies down, and then they need to put out their upgraded Switch. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Right now, there's way too much other shit going on in the industry, and the Switch is still selling really well. You know, I feel and if you put it out this soon, everybody that bought a Switch recently would feel pissed off, you know, and robbed.
Because it's only 3 years old. Yeah. But at 4 years, I feel like that's halfway through a generation.
Sure.
You know, that's the perfect time to release an upgraded version.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think that's what most modern, I feel like ever since PS3 era, even PS2 era, you know, we've seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A more compact or
even if it's just smaller version with the same specs or something. Yeah. We always get some kind of upgraded version. You know what I mean?
This time.
But then again,
it's got to be specs, though.
That might be what the Switch Lite is. You know what I mean? I mean, you're right about the spec thing. We're going to have to see some kind of upgrade in the Switch's specs. But also, you know,
the Switch Lite is a
slippery
downgrade.
Slope because, if you do that, you know, if you up the specs on the Switch to where you know, a normal Switch can't play modern games anymore. You know what I mean? You're effectively making a new console. You know what I mean?
You are.
you almost have to change the name or something. Like it almost can't just be like Switch. It needs to be like Switch 2 or something. Like it can't just be Switch Pro and like
it could be though, because with the Switch Pro, okay, check it out. With normal Switch, you're still going to get all the first party Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ever going to make a first party Nintendo game that can't be played on any of these 3 consoles, but you have the opportunity to buy a Switch Pro where you can play games like Doom Eternal or like things like that. It's like,
but see, no, you can't do that. Like if it's the Pro version of it, the normal version of it needs to be able to play it too. There's never in the history of consoles been a Pro version of something that can play, like except for the fucking 3DS, the new 3DS, and it didn't do well. You know what I mean?
It didn't do well, but it was also like just a random thing, and they didn't really even put first party support on it.
Yeah.
But
my point is, like, it's just a bad marketing ploy to like say, oh, this is the Pro version, like.
But what are they going to do? I mean, that's what I'm saying. They have to do something.
Xbox One X or something, like if they were just to have said, okay, from now on, everything's only compatible with the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
It would have destroyed everything.
But that's Microsoft and Sony. They can do that because they already have consoles that can play everything. Like with the Switch, you literally are about to miss out on an entire generation of gaming if you only have a Switch. That's what's going to happen if they don't make a Switch Pro. They have to make something that allows third party to support their console. If they have to make a whole new console, then it's probably not a good idea, even though they've already won technically with the Switch. They've already sold more Switches than the Xbox One has sold over its entire lifespan.
Yeah, I think you're just assuming that developers are going to completely abandon the Switch. I think that it's too financially lucrative to be abandoned.
No, it's not.
I mean?
For indie games, it's good, but not for Ubisoft over there.
You don't think CD Projekt Red made a fuckload off of porting The Witcher over to like fucking the Switch?
No. I don't remember the exact sales, but I know they weren't as good as everybody thought it was going to be.
Well, I mean, it was still significant. It was probably still a huge amount of money. Like, you know what I mean? It's profit. You know what I mean? It's not.
But even then, The Witcher was like a 5-year-old game. You're looking.
My point is, it was a massive feat. It was a huge.
That's what
effort,
I'm saying.
You know
it was
what I mean?
A massive feat to put a 5-year-old game on it.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
What do you mean? Come on.
I'm just saying, like,
we didn't even get Odyssey.
Find a way. You know what I mean?
We didn't even get Assassin's Creed Odyssey or anything on the Switch.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, technically, they did put it on the Switch through the streaming thing. I think that is more likely where we're going to be heading next. Is some kind of streaming service on the Switch where you can play these bigger games without the without the required like processing power. You know what I mean?
So we had the ability to stream.
We didn't have the ability to. The Japanese people who were fortunate enough to get into that beta with the Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey and whatever, they had a streaming thing.
I forgot that Odyssey was a part of that, but that was because they have like a regional like master internet system set up. Like we don't have that here.
Well, my point is it's possible. You know what I mean? Like if you had a decent internet connection, you could do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, you'd have like latency issues and bullshit, but I mean, like, still though, like you're not gonna go play Odyssey on your Switch whenever you have an Xbox Series X.
Well, if you don't have an Xbox Series, as you were saying,
but
once again, if it's your only option, is what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
This could be a solution. You know what I mean?
True, but once again, even Odyssey is a 2-year-old game at this point. Like we're talking about,
but the size
next
of the game
generation.
in this scenario, when we're talking about streaming to a platform, the size of the game is almost indifferent. Like it doesn't really make that much of a difference how big or small the game is.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
No,
that makes sense.
I don't know. It's something to think about, and it's a route Nintendo might want to consider. Especially if they're going to partner up with Xbox with the xCloud technology and stuff.
Which they haven't confirmed they're going to do that. That's just a lot of speculation.
Yeah. But if they did, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, not at all. It wouldn't be bad. I mean, let's see what happens. All I can say is that if they don't figure something out, like the Switch will die.
Totally.
It will die in its tracks, before it even reaches the end of a normal cycle.
Well, you can already tell they're like pushing it as more of a handheld thing now because like they realize, okay, the actual home console market is sewed up, especially with the upcoming shit. And I think that's why the new iteration of the Switch is like entirely handheld. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe they just want to push people like, okay, this is the new DS, basically. You know? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously that's what it's like. They up until this point, they've always had a home console and a portable console. You know, now it's just the one thing that they're focusing on. So it's like,
here's a thought. What if they did the Switch Pro, but like it can't, like, okay, Switch Pro games can play on a normal Switch, but they can't play on a normal Switch when it's docked. Okay? Switch Pro can play the Switch Pro games docked or in handheld. I don't know, just a thought. Because I've noticed that they seem to be able to get a lot more detail and, like, you know, oomph out of it when you're in handheld mode for whatever reason. You know
well,
what I mean?
actually, it gets more from docked. So certain games don't because they didn't develop it correctly. But there's more power when it's docked.
Interesting. Maybe that's the next step. Is like a super dock that you hook your Switch into, and it like fucking supercharges your Switch, and then whenever it's undocked, it can't play these like hardcore games.
Or it's not that there's more power; it's that whenever you're using an HDMI, you can get up to like a higher resolution than what the screen is capable of.
What if that was a thing?
But if that was the case, yeah, if you could buy like a dock that
gives you more power,
maybe that might be the case. You know, maybe that's something we haven't thought about.
Sure.
No, that's a good idea. Maybe that's what it is. Instead of a whole new console, they just like, hey guys, we're going to sell this $60 dock that if you buy it, you know, you'll be able to play games up to 4K or whatever, you know, and like,
and as like an added bonus, you could hook it up to your Switch Lite too. And now your Switch Lite is suddenly a normal Switch and like, ba-boom, ba-boom, you know?
Nah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Switch Lite's got to stay Switch Lite.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck a Switch Lite.
Yeah, we're just making shit up at this point.
Yeah, we are.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Animal Crossing New Horizons launches on Nintendo Switch in only a few weeks. You know what? I'm not going to read this whole article, but basically, if you have if you have a copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons on your Switch, you can only have one island per console.
Yeah.
Did you see
I saw
this?
that. Even if you bought 2 cartridges.
Yeah.
You're still only going to have that one island.
Yeah, and you can do like 8 people playing locally on the one island or whatever, or something like that. You can all play, or no, 4 people locally, 8 people total or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they all add onto the one island. So it's like your console is represented by the one island.
Which is really upsetting.
It's weird, but I don't know. I don't hate it personally, but I could see how it would be frustrating if you like wanted to have multiple games or whatever with, you know, people.
You've never really played an Animal Crossing before, huh?
Not really, no. But
okay.
I see what it's about. You know, I don't know.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the thing about Animal Crossing is that your island, or like in the old games, just like your town, is like yours to be customized to your liking and stuff like that. So if you have to share it with somebody, you know, like me and my girlfriend are gonna be playing.
You have to split the island in half.
Yeah, it's like what are we gonna do with that? You know, like, and does. You know, like whenever you collect certain fish and bugs and stuff, does it save to both of your accounts or does it only save to the one account? Because I want it to only save to my account. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope it plays like that. I hope it's not like an overall, everybody just gets everything the same.
It might end up being like that.
That would be really upsetting. That would be really upsetting.
We'll have to see. Anyways.
But I'm still excited. Before we get out of the Animal Crossing news, though, I had some other stuff I wanted to mention about it before we move away from it. Just one second. Because my girlfriend actually was like, oh, you should talk about this on the show. And I was like, all right, yeah, I will. Animal Crossing New Horizon is basically where is it? Oh, Nintendo recently announced an Animal Crossing themed Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it launches on March 13th. It includes pastel green and blue Joy-Cons, as well as a white dock featuring an image of the Nooks on an island. The dock and Joy-Cons will also be sold separately through Nintendo's store in Japan, but it's unclear if they'll be available to purchase individually in the West. I hope so, because
I was going to say, I'd love to just get the dock. I don't even care about the Joy-Cons or anything.
I like the Joy-Cons, man. I love the way it looks. It's like minty.
I like the whole thing. I mean, overall, it's really cool looking for sure.
Yeah, and Animal Crossing New Horizon doesn't have a universal pre-order bonus that you'll get by pre-ordering at any retailer. However, retailers have started revealing exclusive pre-order bonuses. If you pre-order at Target, you'll get an adorable New Horizons themed journal that comes with a 2020 calendar. Best Buy is giving away Tom Nook phone and tech badges, which can be stuck to your phones, laptops, tablets, etc., and supposedly leaves no residue and is reusable. And you'll also get a $10 reward credit if you're a My Best Buy member, which is free to sign up.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was just throwing out the pre-order
I like when they do
bonuses
like the multiple different kinds of pre-order bonuses depending on where you go.
Oh,
yeah.
like
take your pick of like which one you think is the best, you know?
Yeah, I want that little journal, dude. Write all my GameSpeak thoughts in it.
I got to see what like GameStop and stuff is doing, because you already know if those two are doing exclusive pre-orders, then other places will probably put out something crazy too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. In past years, as mobile gaming started to take off, Nintendo refused to release its franchises or create new ones for mobile. That changed as of 2016's Super Mario Run, and Nintendo's shift to mobile has been a huge success from a business perspective. Sensor Tower reports that Nintendo's 6 mobile games have together generated more than $1 billion worldwide revenue across iOS and Android. The 6 games have collectively reached more than 452 million downloads globally. A whopping 61%, $656 million of Nintendo's mobile revenue comes from a single title, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Y'all need to get some lives.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck?
You're just out there playing Fire Emblem on your phone. No, I'm just kidding.
What's incredibly impressive for Fire Emblem Heroes is that the game has only had 18 million downloads, but this has generated the most money. That works out to an average revenue per download of $41 for the free-to-play game.
Holy shit.
I bet there was one guy who just went and threw the balance off and bought like $1 million worth of shit. You know what I mean?
It's like just buy, at that rate, just buy Fire Emblem Houses.
Yeah, dude.
Or 3 Houses.
3
or whatever
Houses
the
is like
fuck
one of the
called.
best games ever made. And it's like, fuck Fire Emblem Heroes, dude.
You could have paid $20 more and got that game.
You could probably wait for a sale and get it for that much. Like,
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Psycho.
But that whole article was leading up to the fact that they're adding a monthly subscription to Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh, fuck that.
Or whatever. So you pay $10 a month and you get like exclusive characters and stuff like that. But it's $10 a month.
Yeah, no. Nintendo needs to go get bent with all that.
Yeah, well, this is their 3rd game they're doing that with. They did it with Animal Crossing and they did it with the Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah.
You know, so apparently it's working for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be moving it to this one that's already made them a bunch of money. You know,
I don't approve.
Disapproved. So by way of Richard Wakeling at GameSpot, Steam broke its own record for concurrent users online this past Sunday, surpassing the prior record of 18,537,490 users set back on January 14th of 2018. The PC gaming platform experienced a peak of 18,801,944 concurrent players on Sunday at around 6:20 a.m. PT, according to SteamDB. Interestingly enough, however, there were actually fewer people in-game than when the previous record was set in 2018, down from 7 million to 5.8 million. What exactly those near 19 million users were doing at the time Steam hit its peak is difficult to ascertain. The likes of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Grand Theft Auto 5, Monster Hunter World, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege were among the most played games at the time, but their combined player numbers only make up a fraction of the 5.8 million users in-game. Either way, the uptick in concurrent users has been coming, as Steam's recently hit 1 billion accounts and 90 million active users per month.
The other 12 million people were getting ready for Half-Life Alyx, dude.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's like,
honestly, I think it's going to be way more successful than people think. Like, I see people getting computers. I see headsets flying off the shelf. Like, I really think that this game is going to be like, whew, I don't know.
Maybe so. And, I mean, it's weird. It's weird that they decided to come back to make a new Half-Life, but it's only VR. You know, like maybe I just feel like they have a lot of inspiration from this, new medium. So like maybe it's worth it. Maybe they're going to do something that changes the landscape of gaming.
I really think so. I think that this, like aside from Resident Evil 7, which was not made from like the ground up for VR. It was, built with VR in mind, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like exclusively made for VR. I think a game like this that's made like with, AAA funding, the Valve name, the Half-Life brand at stake, you know what I mean? Like, they have to make it, like, perfect. I think everything is going to be, like, interactable, and, like, I've seen, like, gameplay where it's, like, almost like a Boneworks type physics where everything you touch, like, moves and stuff, and you can, like, grab the edge of walls and stuff when you're peeking around. I don't know. It looks awesome. I just can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Pixar of gaming, or VR gaming.
I hope it's going to be like, I really hope it's going to be what Half-Life 1 was to, first-person shooters in general. I hope this does to VR what Half-Life 1 did to just kind of video games in general. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to use your VR headset to see.
Right.
Anyways, what you got?
Let's see. A new trailer for the upcoming animated movie Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge has arrived, and it provides a look at the art and animation style you can expect. It's a great time to be a Mortal Kombat fan with the blah, blah, blah. You get it. They got a cartoon Mortal Kombat movie coming. It's going to be rated R. It's going to be awesome.
As long as it's rated R, that's all that matters. I think I saw a part of this and didn't get to watch the full thing, but look cool.
Look cool.
Yeah.
I'm all about Mortal Kombat. I like the lore behind Mortal Kombat for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very interesting lore, all this Mortal Kombat happening. Anyways, this is by way of Eddie McCooch. Gaming giant Electronic Arts reported earnings for its holiday quarter last week, and the company performed ahead of expectations. In particular, revenue from EA's microtransaction bucket, called Live Services, reached nearly $1 billion. Another highlight was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which performed above expectations. EA made $993 million from Live Services during the quarter ended December 31st. For the 12 months as a whole, EA made $2.835 billion from microtransactions. EA made a total of $1.593 billion in revenue for the quarter and $361 million in profit. So as you can see, microtransactions are very big business for EA. A major part of EA's microtransaction revenue comes from the Ultimate Team modes for EA's sports games, including FIFA, Madden, and NHL. The publisher also said Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order performed significantly above expectations. EA was modeling sales of 6 to 8 million copies, but now the company is expecting sales to reach 10 million copies during the current fiscal year ending March 31st.
I can't believe the Ultimate Team modes in these games is making money. Like, it's total bullshit. Like, they'll have... Okay, can I just explain to you what the fucking Ultimate Team thing is?
Tell me about the Ultimate Team.
So they have this in all their sports games, including the UFC game, which is like a solo sport. So it doesn't even make sense that there's a fucking Ultimate Team in the UFC or whatever.
You need a coach.
But I digress. I guess you do need a coach. But... the point is, like, they have this, like, you'll have the main game. It's got, like, the story, the multiplayer, all the stuff you'd expect from, like, a normal game. Yeah. And then there's Ultimate Teams mode, which is just, like, this stupid fucking game, like, where you have to buy, like, booster packs and, like, get your cards. And, like, your cards, like, represent the players you can use and, like, you can upgrade them. When you could just, like, literally go a menu over and use all these characters for free. You know what I mean? It's like... I don't understand how they can make so much money off of that shit.
I don't get what it does. So what are you saying?
It's just like it's like basically you go to this mode and you like don't have any characters or whatever, and you have to like buy packs of cards and like get the characters from like card packs and like play with them. You know what I mean?
But you could unlock them without doing that?
Most of the time, not really. I mean, you have to like play games and stuff and you can unlock it, like, but it's really, really slow progression. Like, it's obviously like they're forcing your hand into buying it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But it's like on the same side of the coin, you could just go, like, you can play all of it. Like, it's all there already. And you, like, people are just going into this mode where, like, they're forced to pay for it. And, like, I don't understand.
What do you mean it's all there already? That's where you're confusing
Okay,
it.
so, like, if you go to versus mode, you can play as any team, any character you want, or campaign, or whatever, you know? Like, you can go to these other modes and just play with all the characters unlocked already. You know what I mean? But then you go to this one mode where it, like, locks them all on purpose, and you have to, like, pay, like, real money to get these booster packs to, like, unlock.
But that's what I was
characters.
saying. So to unlock them, like, that means that they're not already unlocked. What's in this mode that people want?
Nothing. That's the thing.
It's
I don't
not
understand.
like a better
there's some
story
kind
or
of
something?
satisfaction out of getting the progression of, like, gaining the characters or something from the booster packs. You know what I mean? It's like this. It's like, you know that feeling when you open, like, a pack of Pokemon cards? I think they've, like, somehow artificially made that into this game. But it's like,
I still don't understand.
I don't understand either. That's the thing. Like,
maybe I'm just, like, not getting what you're saying. But so, like, they're paying for this even though the characters are already available to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but when you unlock them in this mode, what does it unlock them for?
So, okay, that's not available to them in this mode. But this mode is really not any different than any of the other modes in the game. Like, it's just like an online multiplayer. Like, you could go to online multiplayer and play with all the characters unlocked. Or you could go play online multiplayer with all these characters locked behind this weird wall that doesn't make any sense, you know? Called Ultimate Team.
There's got to be something about it. Maybe, like, the characters have higher stats or something.
I mean, there is, in the UFC one, you can customize your character a little bit. Like,
maybe that's what it is.
But it's really such a shallow fucking customization thing. Like, it's all just, I don't know. It's an obvious money grab to me. Like, it's disgusting almost. Like, when you play the rest of the game and then you look at that, it's like a slap in the face almost. Like, I don't know.
Also, no offense to sports game players, because I know there are some real gamers that, like, play sports games, but I know that a lot of people that aren't really, like, into video games play sports games, and that's probably who they're playing Predator on, you know, like.
But see, that's what kills me is, like, in the same game there's this excellent meaty campaign. Like, if you look at the most modern Madden game that came out, like, the campaign is phenomenal, you know? The online multiplayer is, like, seamless and great. And then you just got Ultimate Teams. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. I think the people that are really into the sports like the idea of being able to customize stats on these characters. That's probably what it is.
But see, if you want to customize stats, I don't know. I guess so. But it's just like, I just don't get it, you know?
You got to customize the IVs and the EVs, bro. That's what people want to do. They want to get deep in the Vs.
Yeah, but I mean, even if that's what you wanted to do, you could start a career and, like, import, like, the look of a famous character. I don't know. There's just, like, ways around it. I just don't get it. But maybe that's just me.
It's all just you, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, you finish up. I'm out of news.
Okay, let's see. We've got okay. The Google Stadia has had a bit of a rough launch with only one exclusive, Tequila Works Guilt, and middling reviews from critics. Now, as one owner has pointed out on Reddit, it's been 40 days since a new game was announced for the service, and when questioned on this, Google has responded. Google has provided a statement to GamesIndustry.biz about its silence on the upcoming releases, and has said that much of this falls on publishers who are gearing up to make their own announcements. Google has previously said that there are 120 games coming to Stadia in 2020, including at least 10 exclusives in the first half of the year. And in its statement, they say that they won't be announcing all of them directly. Of course, not all 120 titles will be announced by the Stadia team. The statement reads, as we leave it up to the publishers to make the announcement about their IP games.
Nobody's asking you to announce all 120 games, numbnuts.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking you, where are these 10 exclusives? Because you would be the one that would announce the 10 exclusives.
What kills me is, like, he goes on, like, through, I won't even read the rest of it, but he's kind of defensive through, like, the whole thing.
Well, yeah, because on the backside, it looks like whenever SpongeBob's brain is, like, thinking, and it's all the little SpongeBob's running around, they're like, we can't find the file, you know, and they're all just fucking, like, burning shit down. Like, that's what's happening over there, because I know they're not gonna, everybody who thinks Stadia is gonna be a thing and it's gonna continue is wrong. Google Stadia will disappear and dissipate by the end of this year. I guarantee you. And people are going to be like, whatever happened to Google Stadia? You know, that's because remember I told you this a year ago on this show. I said they have a track record of putting things out, and when it doesn't do what they want it to do, they just fucking throw their hands up and walk away from it because they got that Google money. They don't care. They didn't have to do this. They just wanted to try it out. And like, because it didn't do well, I guarantee you the people, like the head people at Google are like, dude, what are you doing? You know, we'll just shut it down. No one's going to care.
Honestly, I think a company like Amazon or something is going to come along and do it better. You know what I mean?
Or Microsoft.
Or Microsoft. Yeah. Microsoft, we already know Microsoft is going to do it. You know what I mean? And I think that when Microsoft really puts it out to the public, you know, no beta, no nothing, just it's out. You know, that's going to be the nail in the coffin for Stadia. It'll officially be over. It'll do what Netflix did to Blockbuster. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be the end. You know what I mean?
I don't even to be real. I don't even think Stadia will make it to the release of xCloud. I think Stadia will already be a thing of the past by the time that happens. Like, not because of people not buying it, but because of Google just not supporting it. Google being like...
The real question is, we know for a fact, okay, even if Stadia flops, which it probably will, we know that Stadia does have exclusives in the works. What if...
10 exclusives.
Well, I'm just saying, what if one of these exclusives comes out and it's just like the best game ever, and then Stadia flops? Like, will that exclusive just go into air, or will it come out on Steam or something? You know,
it depends on the rights the developer has to the exclusive. You know, like, is it exclusive because it's being published by Google, or is it exclusive because, or not published but developed by Google, or is it exclusive because it's like a studio that's being funded by Google? Because if that's the case, then they can just buy the rights from Google and you know, do their own shit. But if it's a in-house development, then it's gonna disappear with Google, you know, like, or with the Stadia.
Yeah, unless Google gets into like development or something. But I think this is probably their last foray into gaming.
Yeah, I don't think they care enough. Like, no, I really don't think they care enough. I think they were just testing the water just to see what they could get away with. And if it came out successful right off the bat, they were going to keep doing it. And if not, they were just like, we'll just keep on leaving, you know, little statements here and there so people don't burn down our headquarters, you know? Like, but gamers are just not the crowd you want to fuck with like that.
No.
You know?
Not at all. There's too much solidarity there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Following the tragic passing of NBA legend Kobe Bryant on January 26th,
Kobe,
the NBA 2K20 team and fans of the sports franchise have started a series of in-game tributes to memorialize the famed Lakers player who has been an important part of the video game franchise. Developer Visual Concepts and publisher 2K Sports updated NBA 2K20 to acknowledge Bryant's untimely death with a new splash screen across all platforms commemorating the life of one of basketball's greatest shooting guards. The official NBA 2K20 Twitter account paid tribute to Bryant with a message of its own saying his, quote, many contributions on and off the court will be greatly missed. Some developers on the NBA 2K series also shared condolences across Twitter, with many sharing intimate behind-the-scenes shots and touching anecdotes about their time meeting and working with the Lakers legend.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Kobe Bryant is like, so I'm not really into sports, but
no.
It doesn't matter if you're into sports. Everybody knows Kobe Bryant.
It's pretty wild, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this was the celebrity loss felt around the world. You know,
totally.
Like it was like one of the like. I don't think I've seen a celebrity die and this many people be affected by it on like such a deep level.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he was one of those celebrities that like transcended the sport he was in. You know, like
correct.
You knew who he was even if you didn't know about. Like, you know, it's just wild.
Yeah, he was basketball. You know, like that's the thing is like it's kind of like whenever you think of like Michael Jordan in a way. You know, it's like he can do more than just basketball, but he is basketball. You know, like when you think of a basketball, you think of Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, you know, or like every time you go to throw trash away, you think of Kobe Bryant, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. Like, it's pretty sad though. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah, the whole thing, super sad stuff.
Yeah, we're in a weird timeline. Anyways.
Let's see. Remember Clippy? Microsoft's virtual office assistant that gave helpful hints and tips while you toiled away on projects? Well, With the popularity of House House's Untitled Goose Game, it was only a matter of time until the goose was let loose on your desktop. And now, the goose is loose. Developer Sam, who writes these? Developer Sam Cheat created a free Windows PC desktop app that lets House House's notorious goose be used as your virtual assistant to trample all across the screen, tracking mud, leaving unsolicited memes and notes, and even stealing the mouse. In the middle of cleaning your desktop Goose doesn't care. Trying to get some work done, Desktop Goose isn't worried about your deadline. Playing a tense video game, Desktop Goose just wants to ruin your perfectly lined up shot. Desktop Goose can be customized to leave whatever GIFs and images you want on screen. You can also adjust the goose's aggression to make it be more annoying, as well as prompt it to play MP3s. Leave the goose unattended for a while, and you'll even come back to a hilariously unwelcome surprise, whatever that might be. All the shenanigans can be canceled by holding the escape key, but why would you want to do that?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've seen some video footage of this. My question is like, how do you stop it? You know, like
you hold escape.
Oh, okay. You just hold escape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know you just said that, didn't you?
No, that's okay.
I was just thinking about it in my head. I was like, man, that's it. It's like I watched that video and I was like, how did they get out of that? You know, because it's like grabbing the mouse.
That shit would piss me off.
Yeah. I think that would make for good streaming, though. Like if you played like Call of Duty professionally and just put that on and like had to try and win a match like while being, you know, fucked with by the goose.
Dude, yeah.
Anyways.
And last but not least, Pokemon Go has added online PvP. So if you want to get your battle on with some random strangers online, you can do it now.
Sweet. So it's officially a Pokemon game now.
Yes.
Sweet.
It's got trading, it's got battling, it's got it all.
I like that. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Well, that's it for this week's news. We're going to jump into this week's releases where I'm going to let you know what brand new games are coming out in the next 7 days. Starting with 7th Sector, coming to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch on February 5th for $19.99. Welcome to the 7th Sector. Set in a mysterious cyberpunk world. Immerse yourself on this intricate path, solving different puzzles, facing its dangers, and collecting scattered information to discover the story of this world. Gain control over several different characters, each with its own abilities, which can help you navigate world's devices and machinery. Some of the choices and actions done determine the final outcome. What the hell does that
mean? Some of them choices and actions done determine
Who wrote that? Anyways, Monster Viator, or Viator, or something, is coming to Xbox One on February 5th for $14.99. Ride a dragon and soar the skies, or on a raft down the river. Hang tight and take your time and explore not only challenging dungeons, but everything else the fantasy RPG Monster Viator has to offer. Compelling pixel art breathes life into your adventure. Journey with more than 20 monsters, each with their own abilities and personalities. Unable to remember who he is, Coulter is mysteriously able to communicate with monsters. He soon comes across Era, a shepherd who controls monsters with a harp, and sets out together on a journey to uncover his memories. Okay, and then we got Classic Snake Adventures coming to Xbox One on February 5th. Couldn't find a price. Nibble your way through 100 amazing rounds in 5 worlds with 20 different bosses in this reboot of the classic game Snake. And then we got Zomb coming to PS4 on February 5th for $9.99. Zomb is a first-person shooter game where the player must survive and save the world from zombies. This single-player campaign game will test your combat skills to the limit. Having just parachuted from a burning plane into an unknown city swarming with zombies and with limited ammo, the only way to survive is to get the random ammo drops from around the city and become the ultimate action hero. Okay, and then we got 0000 coming to Xbox One on February 5th for $4.99. With 100 levels that will either make or break players, 0000 is an unforgiving 1-bit lo-fi platformer that will challenge players whilst pleasing their ears with a spectacular soundtrack for players to groove to.
I feel like they just did that, so when you do like alphabetical search of all games, it'll be the first thing that pops up. You know?
It's literally spelled though, 00,
so
it's last.
Never mind.
And then we got Kunai coming to Switch and PC on February 6th for $16.99. Kunai is an action-adventure game best explored through ninja-tier parkour and best survived with razor-sharp combat reflexes. You have an arsenal of ninja moves at your disposal. Throw your kunai left and right to move in style. Start out with nothing. Progress and increase in strength by killing enemy robots to unlock abilities, weapons, and kick-ass ninja tricks to move in style. Okay. Then we got Ghosts in DJs coming to PC February 6th. Couldn't find a price. In a parallel universe where life is in a 16-bit pixelated form. The music scene has been dominated by fake artists and DJs. They rise to fame and become superstars in the media because of two important tools. The first are ghost producers. They hire to make music for them so they can release it under their names. The second is a dangerous power brought from the pit of Averno. This mystical evil power is called money. These evil creatures are known as Devil Gowada, Paul Douchebag, Paris Sheraton, Steve Karaoke, and Pete Bullshit. Okay, whoever made this
Paul Douchebag? Are you what?
No, but these are like real names turned. This is like one of those dudes that couldn't make it as a DJ and just hates everybody who's been, like popular.
Yeah.
This is literally like a hipster that like somehow got a game made. He's like, they only made it because they had money. They only made it because the first are ghost producers they hire. It's like, you're telling me that Steve Aoki and all these other people had a bunch of ghostwriters whenever they were just chilling in their closet making music. Like, I think you're just a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, what a hater.
Yeah, don't buy that game. Anyways, Panda Ball is coming to PS4 on February 6th. Couldn't find a price for it. Put together your ultimate panda team. Battle your friends and become the honorable champion of Palmaria in a game with a twist to traditional rules and game-changing power-ups and balls. Each panda team has 5 players. You have the option of customizing your pandas and team with unique stats, passive abilities, and look. Enabling you to create your own play style and make it possible for you to outsmart your opponent. Okay. And we got Throw Anything coming to PSVR on February 6th for $18.99. Get secret missions from Secret Delivery Agency, SDA, and save the world from zombie horde in the VR action game Throw Anything. There is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide as zombies climb up the walls hoping to satisfy their appetite for brains. The only way to survive, reload your guns, destroy all furniture in the room, grab them all, and throw anything you can find to take them down. And we mean anything. Face off against starving zombies in high-rise buildings across the globe in VR action defense gameplay.
That sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah, it sounds funny. It'd be a good stream.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we got Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth, coming to Switch on February 6th for $39.99. Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth is a visual novel, Otome game created by Idea Factory and Design Factory. Play as a beautiful young woman whose poisonous touch means imminent death. Wouldn't that be Rogue? And unravel the secrets of her past with the
Poison Ivy.
Wait, no, it's not Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy would
No, Poisonous Touch. Who was not Kiss? Who was the X-Men character that like she couldn't touch people?
Rogue couldn't touch people.
Yeah, because they would die, right?
Yeah.
So like she wanted to make out with old boy, but like he would die.
Yeah, totally.
So that Poison Ivy, I feel like, is purposely out there. Like,
yeah, but Poison Ivy's actually poisoning people. Rogue is like sucking their life force. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha. All right.
She like absorbs your power if you have powers. You know,
Rogue does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought Rogue was just like out there, like, wouldn't that suck to have that power? That power would suck.
That would really suck, but it would also be kind of cool, like, because in the comics, like, she would absorb your power and then just have your power permanently. Like by the end, like by like fucking season 5 with like the old school cartoon, like she was like one of the most powerful mutants just because she like had like Wolverine's healing abilities and fucking like the ability to like shoot shit out of her hands and stuff and fly.
Yeah, but what does all that mean without love?
Good point.
She could never love.
I mean, she just would have to be like a bubble boy, She would just put on like a big old like latex suit,
Yeah, and like give a big latex hug.
Yeah.
Anyways,
get that latex loving.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, and unravel the secrets of her past with the help of 5 charming guys. Restricted to an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of London in fulfillment of a promise to her father, lonely Cardia lives day to day, isolated from the world. Her body carries a deadly poison that rots or melts anything her skin touches, prompting the locals to call her a monster.
Oh, that's even worse. Not just like the people, like anything.
Yeah, they just melt.
So, like, what about her clothes and shit? Like, does she just have to walk around naked and shit? And
wouldn't the ground melt? I just don't get things where it's like everything's affected.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Midas touch thing. It's like, how do you do anything if everything you touch turns to gold? You know, like, I don't know.
I mean, I have that problem, and I seem to be doing fine. No, just kidding. Her last conversation with her father 2 years ago, telling her to stay out of sight and never fall in love, is the furthest back she can remember. One day, her quiet solitude is interrupted as the royal guards break in to capture her. It is then that Cardia meets Arsene Lupin, a chivalrous
Arsenio Hall.
who helps her escape the soldiers' clutches. She soon finds herself on a journey with Lupin to locate her father, who holds the answers to her mysterious condition. The two are soon joined by 4 more interesting and handsome gentlemen. Oh, okay.
A lot of handsome gentlemen.
Lots of handsome gentlemen and no touching. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is a weird fantasy.
Sexual tension simulator.
Yeah, it's like, oh, God, if only we
all
could
these handsome gentlemen and I can't do nothing.
And then we got Knights and Bikes coming to Switch on February 6th for $19.99. Knights and Bikes is a hand-painted RPG by Foam Sword. And then we got Just a Phrase by Paugi coming to Switch on February 6th for $7.99. Just a Phrase is a Hangman-style word game with a twist. One word in every phrase has been replaced by a homophone
by a homophobic slur.
by a homophone to make it tougher to deduce. The new phrases sound familiar when read aloud, but have humorous or surreal new meanings. And then we have Nerved coming to Switch on February 6th for $8.99. Nerved is a first-person horror game about a paranormal investigator couple and their latest adventure in the Bitterwood Forest. This last case that they have chosen to pursue, will deliver what the fuck are these words? Will deliver a charnel impact on the couple's fate. What
Shrapnel?
No, a charnel.
Charnel?
A CHARNEL impact.
I don't know.
Maybe we're just ignorant.
Yeah.
Charnel impact on the couple's fate, both personally and professionally. Nerved features immersive atmospheric environment in large forest area with lots of houses and interior locations as well. Use your map to navigate through this dense forest while avoiding 3 different types of enemies who will stalk you with their advanced navigational skills. Chilling audio cues and music boost the spooky mood, while professional voice narration, macabre and horrific story details are told via environmental storytelling instead of cutscenes.
Sounds like Slender or something.
Very, very much so. And then we got Rune Lord coming to Xbox One and Switch on February 7th for $6.99. A portal has opened and dark magic is pouring through. Only you can close the gateway and defeat the evil ice golem. By creating matches of 3 or more runes, you'll collect the magic that will allow you to cast spells and complete tasks. But you'll need to hurry. Time is short. And then we got Selma and the Wisp coming to Xbox One February 7th. Couldn't find a price, but imagine you were alone and afraid. Just at me next time, bro. Now, imagine you were lost with no one to help. Imagine you were a child facing its worst nightmare. In utter darkness, even the dimmest trickle of light means hope. Selma and the Wisp is an astonishing platform game with a particularly eerie feel to it. Densely packed with logical puzzles and unexpected obstacles, the game incorporates innovative gameplay and evocative, low-poly models. And then we got the Turing Test coming to Switch on February 7th for $19.99. This game's actually really good, especially if you like Portal.
You can check out Jamel's review of it on our GameSpeak website. Or no,
it's
on YouTube, right?
YouTube, yeah. Just games, or just type in GameSpeak podcast on YouTube. You'll find our channel. Yeah. Or just go youtube.com/createforsanity. The Turing Test is a first-person puzzler from the developers of Pneuma Breath of Life that explores the phenomena of consciousness and challenges the meaning of human intuition. Take control of Ava Turing, an engineer for the International Space Agency ISA, and progress through a narrated story of introspection and more morality whilst uncovering the hidden mysteries of Europa.
A little bit of that game I played, I feel like it would make a cool VR game. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I don't know.
So would Portal, though.
Truth.
And then we got Car X Drift Racing Online, coming to PS4 on February 7th for $35.95. Car X Drift Racing is all about realistic driving physics, detailed customization, and tuning of car parameters. And then we got Elia Paradigm Shift coming to Switch on February 8th for $7.99. Voyager 1231 River Elia Catherine Jones regains consciousness to find herself locked down in her own cabin. Kazumi, the omniscient AI host of Pilgrimage 2, is offline for the first time in mission history, keeping her blocked. It won't be long before Elia realizes that everybody else has evacuated and she is left all alone on a World Tree-class starship. Elia is an interactive storytelling adventure inspired by the work of the classic 20th century sci-fi authors. And then we got Battlecraft coming to PC and mobile on February 10th. Couldn't find a price. A game of wits and prediction. Battlecraft, a simultaneous turn-based strategy game where it's always your turn. Okay, and then we got Dead Cells The Bad Seed coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and PC on February 11th for $4.99. Developer Motion Twin's superb action platform roguelike Dead Cells is, as announced at the tail end of last year, poised to usher in its first paid DLC. It's called The Bad Seed and is now confirmed to be heading to PC February 11th. The Bad Seed's biggest additions come in the form of 2 new biomes. There's the lush Arboretum, home to a clan of mushrooms, and an overgrown settlement known as the Swamp, inhabited by tree-dwelling mutants, frogmen, and deadly bloodsuckers. These new areas are intended to offer new path choices for Dead Cells early game and provide alternative routes to the Courtyard toxic sewers, the Ramparts, ossuary, the ancient sewers. The Bad Seed also brings a brand new boss known as Mama Tick, who resides in the heart of the swamp. Yes. Anyways, and then and then Yakuza, the remastered collection, is coming to PS4 on February 11th for $59.99.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, celebrate Kazuma Kiryu's. How do you say it? Kazuma Kiryu?
Kazuma. What? I thought it was like
Kiryu.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Kazuma Kiryu's saga with his with this collection.
That still doesn't sound right. I don't know.
It combines remastered editions of Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So there you go.
Wait, 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah.
Oh, that's random.
Yeah,
why wouldn't they just put them all in there?
No.
What about 0, 1, and 2?
No. And then we got Under Hero coming to PS4 on February 11th for $14.99. Under Hero is an RPG platformer where the chosen hero has failed, and an underling of the evil king reluctantly takes his place as the new hero. Use timing-based combat to defeat enemies as you venture across the land, face off against quirky bosses, and save the Chestnut Kingdom from your own evil boss, Mr. Stitches. And then we got, finally, the Glass Masquerade 2 Illusions coming to PS4 on February 11th. Couldn't find a price. Glass Masquerade 2 Illusions is a dreamlike collection of artistic jigsaw puzzles to piece together at your own relaxed pace. So yeah, that's all the games coming out this week. But before we jump into like the currently playing and stuff, we have like the free games coming to Xbox for February.
Yeah, we got them for PlayStation 2.
Okay, cool. So games with gold, for the Xbox One is TT Isle of Man.
TT?
Yeah, like it's like that motorcycle racing game,
Oh, okay.
Apparently,
yeah.
TT
like time trials or something.
No, it's like an actual like event that takes. Once again, we're ignorant.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds right to me.
The TT Isle of Man game is going to be available February 1st through the 29th.
Oh God, tell me the next game's better.
Call of Cthulhu is going to be available from February 16th through March 15th.
Oh, Lord.
And then this is the Xbox 360 / OG Xbox games that will also be available. Fable Heroes is going to be available from February 1st through the 15th.
Wasn't that free to play at one point?
No.
Okay, I'm tripping.
That's a 360 game that was just really shitty. And then Star Wars Battlefront, the OG Battlefront, will be available from February 16th through the 29th.
That's dope. But you could probably get that for like $5 on the store anyways.
That's the only good thing.
All right, PlayStation kind of killed it this week, or this month, I guess. So February's PlayStation games with PlayStation Plus, you're getting BioShock The Collection. So you get BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite, all bundled up into one nice little package.
That's good.
You're getting The Sims 4, which, honestly is probably one of the worst Sims games, but it's still The Sims, so that's kind of a bet. And you are getting one of the best VR games I've ever played in my life, Firewall 0 Hour.
Oh, nice.
Okay, this game is so sick. It is basically Rainbow Six Siege in VR. Okay, if you have an aim controller, it's like 4 times better, but it's still, it's such a good game. And they're constantly adding new content. Like, they've added like 6 or 7 new levels since the game dropped. It's like probably the most well-maintained VR game I've ever played. It's the best multiplayer VR game I've ever played. Probably the best multiplayer game I've ever played. It's really, really good. Like,
you'll probably see a huge jump in multiplayer like connection. Like you'll probably see a lot more like open lobbies.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing that's always been cool about this game too, though, is like even before this, it was already had like a really good multiplayer base, which is so rare for VR games. Like you don't hardly ever get a VR game where you just jump in and get a game every time.
Yeah.
And this is that game. It's so good, and I'm amazed that it's free. It's like one of the best games, like VR games ever, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rainbow Six, but
yeah,
VR.
I mean, it basically is Rainbow Six VR. Like, it's really cool. I highly recommend it, especially if you have it. Honestly, get an aim controller. It's like worth it to buy the aim controller just to play this one game with it. Like, it's that good, especially if you don't have to pay for the game now,
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my little rant, my TED Talk. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Pro show. It was great, dude. Good job up there.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into currently playing. You want to start? You want me to start? I know
you
got
way,
a shit ton.
Yeah, I got a list, so,
Yeah,
you
can
ahead.
go through yours.
All right,
Just jump through it.
So I started off, I played a little bit of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon demo on the Switch.
How bad was it? No, I'm just kidding.
It wasn't great, to be honest with you. It's just not my thing,
Yeah.
I just don't really get it, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's more kid-focused than the actual Pokemon games.
Yeah, it started off kind of fun. It, like, gave you this whole questionnaire, and, like, you get, like, a Pokemon assigned to you based on your question or whatever.
Who'd you get?
Mudkip.
You're such a Mudkip,
I guess
bro.
I'm a Mudkip, but I played a little bit of that. It was okay. And then I played Drop Dead Dual Strike.
Is that a VR game?
Yeah, it's on Oculus. It's basically just an on-the-rails zombie shooter game. It's a lot like House of the Dead or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's kind of lame.
Oh, it's really cool, actually. I think you'd like it if you tried it. It's got multiplayer and stuff. It's not like the most crazy game you ever played, but it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And then I got Accounting Plus. Okay, this game is only $10. I already have this on my PlayStation, but they added a few new levels, and it's such a funny game. And it's like a good one to show people VR. So I got it, and I played through it again, and I found all the little secret levels and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And
Nice.
It's really funny, too. It's made by the people who do Rick and Morty. So, like, a lot of the jokes are, like, Rick and Morty voices and stuff. I don't know. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to branch out a little. I'm going to get crazy with the VR. You know what I mean? So I went on the internet. Right.
Just kidding.
No. I went on the internet and I found this game called Moonrider VR. Okay. So what you do is you go into your Oculus, like, internet browser or whatever in the headset, and you go to this website. And you click, like, stream in VR or whatever, and it puts you in this fucking VR game. And it's basically, this game is Beat Saber, basically. And it's, like, free online. And you can play, like, all these, like, real good songs and shit. It's not as, like, good as Beat Saber, because, like, when you hit, sometimes it doesn't register all the time, But, I mean, for my purposes, it's basically, like, free Beat Saber. And it's a lot of fun. So if you have an Oculus Quest or any kind of headset, you can go on like a browser, virtual desktop or something in. Check out Moonrider VR. It's really cool. And then I was like, okay, I got to get my hands on a computer. Because everybody that's got an Oculus Quest, I'm in a little Oculus Quest group or whatever because I'm like obsessed. And everybody in the little group is like, you have to side load your quest. They're like, you basically just like hook up to this program called SideQuest, and you can download like games that aren't officially on the books yet or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did that. And I downloaded a whole bunch of games I haven't entirely played yet. A couple of them are fun little like tech demos. Right now, Oculus Quest has this thing called hand tracking that's in like a demo beta situation. Yeah. So a lot of these developers have made like little programs where you can use your real hands in the game and like pick up items. It's really cool.
That's tight.
It's so neat. Like, and your fingers all do the thing, but most of the little things are like tech demos, kind of. You know what I mean? Just like a table full of blocks in front of you, and you can play with them with your real hands. I did a couple of those. I played, but like the main thing, I got Pavlov, which is basically like Call of Duty in VR. You have to like reload your clips and stuff, and they've got zombies and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Counter-Strike too. You have to like buy your weapons, and like I don't know, it's cool. And then I got Half-Life in VR, which is, you actually have to own, like, the Half-Life game.
Yeah, on Steam.
Yeah, but fortunately, it's free right now to play.
Yeah.
So I got Half-Life VR, I've been playing that, and I gotta say, it translates so well to VR, like the original Half-Life game.
That's surprising.
It's really, really fun to play. Like,
how do you even move around?
You just walk, with a thumbstick or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But you, like, turn your body and stuff, you know what I mean? And I mean, you can walk around with your feet too, but like, it depends on how much of a play area you have. You're pretty much going to play the most of the game walking like it's a normal video game. But it's so immersive and like different playing through it with VR, and like using the crowbar, like you're holding the crowbar in your hand and those like face things are like flying at you and you whack them out of the air. It's really satisfying. I also got Quake 2 in VR, which is really cool. Again, translates surprisingly well. I have a bunch of other stuff I haven't tried yet because I just haven't had enough time, but I've been going really hard on the VR this week, so...
Yeah. I think Doom 3 would be a good one to play in VR.
I've thought about that, and they actually have ports for it on like PC VR. I just don't have a way to play it on the Quest right now.
I think that would be a really good one, like the atmosphere and stuff.
Yeah, I've actually been playing through Doom 3 again recently on my Switch, and it plays really well.
It's on Switch?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's actually really cool on Switch. Like, it holds up.
It definitely does. That was one of the better, like, looking games on the original Xbox.
Dude, people were sleeping on Doom 3 back in the day. I don't know.
Well, I think people were just mad because it wasn't more Doom. You know, like, it was just like a whole different thing. You know, it was
scarier than some of there. It still gets me. I'll be playing on the tiny Switch screen without any headphones or anything, and I'll still be like, oh.
Still jump. Yeah, the lighting effects were good. Mm-hmm, it definitely went more horror than Doom.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyways, so... currently playing for me, I jumped back into Halo Master Chief Collection just for like a couple of multiplayer games whenever my little sister's boyfriend came over. We hopped into SWAT because we were both, basically pros at Halo back in the day. No, we both played a lot of Halo, so we jumped in and dude, we fucking wrecked shop, dude. Well, like
Y'all were online or?
Yeah, we went online and played SWAT where it's like, headshots are one hit kill and then like, you can kill with the body shots, but everybody goes for a head. Mm-hmm. We I think on the last match, I did like 29 kills and like 9 deaths or something.
Dang.
And like, that was the first time playing in like forever, dude. Like,
it's like riding a bike.
Yeah,
bro.
It felt good. Yeah. That's literally what he said. He was like, Halo's like riding a bike. It's like once you get the hang of it, it's like my reticle goes or straight to where the head is. Like, it's just like a twitch, like you see someone, it's just like headshot,
You've probably also, though, like, despite not playing Halo, you've probably generally become better as a gamer over that time period. You know what I mean?
So.
Maybe not like specifically Halo, but just in general, like your like reflexes with your like fingers and eyes and shit probably have gotten better.
My thing with Halo, like whenever Halo 4 came out, I was playing Halo Online multiplayer like 3 to 4 hours a day for like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, so like I got really good,
mm-hmm.
For a while there. And then I just got away from it. You get burnt out on stuff like that.
Oh yeah, totally.
But anyways, I was playing that. I beat, before I get into that, I played some Bloodborne because I'm playing all the PlayStation games. Bloodborne's pretty interesting. I like the little customize, like how you can customize your character. It's really creepy. You can like customize your character until literally the weirdest looking things ever. But I made mine look as close to me as I could do it. I'm not very good with those, character creator things, but the game holds up like graphics wise and stuff. It's really pretty.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's fun, but like I didn't want to get too deep into it because I'm trying to beat as many PlayStation 4 exclusives as I can before the new consoles get here. So, and that's like going to be a really tough game. So I was like, all right, I'll just play this in between games. So I started playing Until Dawn, and I beat that in
fun.
2 sittings.
That's a fun one, dude. I really like Until Dawn is the reason I'm so obsessed with Supermassive games, because like it's by far their magnum opus so far, you know what I mean?
It sucks whenever your first big game is your best one.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was really good. I don't want to, you can't really spoil the ending because everybody gets different endings, but I was really pissed at the game, honestly, whenever it got to the end, because I played the game and I felt like I was doing really well. I already knew the ending, like I like not from watching anything, like I guessed everything and I was right, but like I knew not to like shoot the dude whenever he was trying to bust through the door and stuff. I was like, nah, there's no way he's the bad guy, you know, like all this stuff. And like everybody was alive except for Matt. Matt was the only person that died.
How did Matt die?
He got put on, the guy picked him up and put his face through, like a hook through his chin. Yeah. Did you ever get that ending?
No.
Well,
I think Matt fell off a cliff when I was playing with him.
See, I had the premonition about that, so he didn't fall, but he got hooked through the chin, and he was the only person that died up until the very, very end, the last hour. Jessica died, because I chose to run instead of to hide, which really pissed me off. I was like, because up until that point, I was like, I knew I should have hid because the Wendigos can't see you if you don't move. I was like, why didn't I as soon as I hit that button, I was like, fuck, no, I didn't mean to do that.
That's the reaction I think the game wants you to have. It's like, it wants to pressure you to make like a rash decision and then be like, fuck, I knew better, like.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So, I was listening to the guy. I was playing as honest as possible, and so I get all the way to the end. Jessica and Matt are dead. I'm like, okay, everybody else is still alive. I'm going to make it out of here with everybody, and so we get to the part where all the Wendigo are like taking over the house, and we already busted the bulb, and it goes over, and I'm playing as the chick. What's her name? Sam?
Yeah. Sam.
So I'm playing as Sam, and Mike is over there about to he just crushed the bulb, and it's like save Mike or run and hit the switch, and I was like, they want me to save Mike, it's a trick. And I was like, so I'm going to go and hit the switch. As soon as she runs over, she hits the switch. She literally kills everybody but her and
no, dude.
Literally I kept every fucking person alive until the last hour of the game. The last fucking hour.
No.
And I was like, I'm done with this game. Like, I'm not going back through this to do that.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's not much of a difference depending on who lives and dies. It's kind of just like, you see them at the end and they're like alive still, But like, I don't know.
But I put so much effort into keeping them alive, dude. I even saved the dog. Like, the dog didn't die or anything.
I'm glad you saved the dog. The dog is the homie whenever it comes in at the end, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, what, that part where, like, they're all in the room and, like, they think Emily's, like, infected or whatever, and they're like, should we shoot her? Like,
did you shoot her?
I did a different playthrough where I shot her.
So the first time you didn't shoot her?
Yeah, the first time I didn't shoot her because I was like, if she's infected, like, we'd all be, like, a bunch of us would be infected or whatever.
You would know it already.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. The time I shot her, I was playing like while I was streaming on Twitch, and somebody was watching. And they're like, "Shoot her! Shoot her! Shoot her!" So I just fucking shot her.
Some serial killers just watching. He's like, "I love this game." Yeah, no, it was pretty good though. My next game is gonna be Horizon Zero Dawn. I think.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, some like a dude from the gym. I told him I was trying to play through all the PlayStation games. He brought me Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone.
Oh,
and
cool!
then-
I've been wanting to try Days Gone.
yeah, he said it sucks, but I
Well,
was
yeah.
like, whatever, I'll try it out.
I've heard that too, but it just looks like my kind of thing. You know, I don't know.
Zombies, Harley Davidson.
I think you're gonna like Spider-Man, dude. Spider-Man is sick.
He's also he's letting me log into his account because he doesn't play his PS4 anymore. Like,
Oh, cool.
I guess he's busy.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I'll just let you log into my account. I have Spider-Man, like the complete edition on there and
Oh,
everything.
cool,
So
cool.
I'm gonna have Spider-Man as well.
I was about to say, I bet that DLC for Spider-Man is cool. I never got to play it.
Oh yeah, he said it's all on there. It's all good. Anyways, but yeah, that's what I've been playing. If you want to let us know what you've been currently playing, drop it in the comments on YouTube or head on over to the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GameSpeak podcast and tell us there. We will read it. We will respond and talk with you. Anyways, we're going to jump on over to the topic of the show. Yes, today's topic of the show is live video game attractions that we wish existed, or that should exist. You
Yeah.
know? These definitely should exist.
Yeah, with the rise of like Nintendo World at like was it Universal Studios or whatever?
Correct. Yeah, it's starting in Japan, but it will be coming to America at some point. Probably the Florida Universal Studios.
Yeah, and these Atari hotels. You know, we just we were thinking, you know, what are some cool things we would do?
Yeah, and surprisingly, there's not many live video game attractions. There's just not.
No.
Like, you can go Google it, and it will bring up like two different things, which is going to be like VR rooms and like literally the Super Nintendo World and the Atari thing. That's it. You know, so all this stuff I feel like will be pretty fresh. I'm also some of mine could be at the Super Nintendo World, but you know, like, or it could fall under that you know, like that theme. But we'll see. Anyways.
Most of mine I modeled after like Disney World rides because I find that Disney World's got this like unique structure and like way they do their like rides where it's not just like a generic like roller coaster or something. You
it's
know?
like a world,
like an attraction kind of, yeah.
For sure.
So a lot of mine, I took a lot of inspiration from Disney's existing parks right now with mine.
So, do you want to start? You want me to start? How do you want to do
I can
this?
kick it off. I got
Okay.
a good little bit of them. We don't have to go through all of mine, but I was thinking, you know, okay, one thing that would obviously be really cool is if you did like a Mario Kart with real go-karts, but everybody's got like a VR headset on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're not actually moving?
No, you are moving. Like actual go-karts moving around a track that's mapped in virtual reality. And like you're throwing bananas at the other carts and stuff. And like the carts have like sensors in them in my imagination. Okay. So like say you hit a banana in the game, your actual cart will just start like spinning around. You
And
know
someone
what I mean?
just rams into you and children die.
Well, I mean,
That'd be intense.
theoretically somebody could just ram into you, you know, like
That's
if you were
true.
doing normal go-karts
True.
too. You know, I definitely think there are some liability things.
Yeah, you got to
could-
sign some waivers.
You could probably, I mean, if you're getting that advanced with technology, though, you know, you could probably have it to where, like, if they get close enough to each other, they, like, slow
It
down.
blocks them or
yeah,
something.
it does some kind of, like, you know, softened collision or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good one. They are doing a Mario Kart ride at Super Nintendo World.
Oh,
I don't know
fun.
what it's going to be like, but that's for sure. That's the only guaranteed thing so far.
Oh, cool. I bet it's going to be tight.
Oh yeah, dude. One of mine is the AR team deathmatch. So much like paintball, but you use like a light gun that when you're looking at it through the AR headset, it looks like an actual gun.
Ooh, that would be sick.
Yeah, and so like, and like the world around you gets like, I imagine this would be in like a giant warehouse, and then like all this stuff,
Kind of like a mixed reality kind of thing.
yes,
Like where,
yeah, augmented reality. So like you go in, they have all these like forts built up and stuff in the warehouse, but whenever you put on the augmented reality, you can choose from different levels, and it changes like the coat of paint on like these.
you could even put like bad guy like skins over your enemies and
Correct.
stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And like you can, you know, you have your gun, but I was gonna say like, you could play like games like headshots only, or you could do like search and destroy, where there's like a little box that gets turned into a bomb whenever you put the augmented reality headset on. So you gotta hide it, and there's like a timer on it, and you gotta go up and like, you know, twist the knobs and like cut wires and stuff to like turn it off, and like solve like a little puzzle to get it turned off.
That would be cool. You could even put like health bars over everybody's head because you know, like when you're playing laser tag and you don't really know
Yeah,
if
you have
like,
no
got the
idea.
person out or not. You know, it's like that would be cool to know for a fact. Like, okay, that guy's out. Like,
Or-
it does
or
some
it's
kind of
doing
animation.
some damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you're getting hit and you start seeing red or something. That would be tight, you know?
Yeah, and another cool thing that you could do is have like barrels set around that, like whenever you have it on the augmented reality, they act as explosive barrels. So if somebody's near it and you shoot it, you see an explosion, like both you and the person there, and like if they're near enough, it causes like damage or can take them out.
You could even have like foam balls set up throughout the level that are like green and like get recognized by like the augmented reality goggles or something.
Like grenades.
Yeah, and they like act like grenades, and you pick it up and throw it. You
know?
And
they're timed, so like
that
after a couple seconds they blow. Yeah, dude, that would be tight. That's something that I feel like could be really popular if they could nail it.
Done too. I think that's really realistic. I mean, especially with like all the technology we're getting into today, like I think that's something that could really happen. You know?
It'd be a cool way to turn one like setup into a million different things.
Oh, like you could have like a different layout just depending on what kind of mood you're in with like this. Oh man,
you could do like space where like the whole ceiling is like the stars and stuff, and like it'd be tight, dude. I like all the forts that you built up take on like this silver like high tech space like look to them and everything.
But then suddenly you're in the jungle and everything's all made of wood. Yeah. And like trees are everywhere. That would be sick, dude.
It'd be awesome. Anyways, what you got?
Okay. Let's see. So I was thinking like, okay, what if did you ever play Zelda Skyward Sword?
I played it. I did not beat it. That's like one of the only Zelda games I was just like, eh.
Well, okay, you spend a majority of the game riding around on this big bird.
Yep.
And I think it'd be cool to do like a roller coaster kind of thing where you're on the back of the bird and you're like flying through this like Zelda themed world, you know what I mean?
Like an actual roller coaster?
Yeah, kind of like a roller coaster, but like, I mean, maybe a little less intense just in favor of like getting you sitting on a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be tight. I mean, like they do the Superman thing, like at Astroworld, or not Astroworld, but Six Flags.
Oh, the Fiesta Texas one?
Yeah.
So that one is so good. That's a good ride.
Yeah, they could do something very similar to that, but with Zelda theme.
I think the most important thing would be that you're like flying over Zelda shit, you
like
know?
Hyrule.
Yeah.
You see like, like maybe they just have fucking horses down there.
That would be tight. Have you ever been to Disney World? They have this like Peter Pan ride where you like, you're flying over the town as Peter Pan or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And they have this like miniature town built below you, and it's actually not very far below you, but way
it looks tiny.
Yeah, the perspective that they have is like, it makes it look like you're so high up in the air. It's like,
that's awesome.
They could do something like that. It would be really cool.
That would be. No, that's a good idea. I really like that. One of my other ones is like a platformer world, which is very similar to like another like indoor complex, but it's set up like platformer levels where you have to get from one end to the other, similar to like Ninja Warrior.
That would be cool. With like foam pits below you, so if you fall, you're just...
Yeah. And but there's like differing levels that get progressively more difficult, like on a ski mountain. So like you can go and it's like, oh well, this is like a blue level or like whatever, and make things that are like very creative and interesting. Because like I feel like Ninja Warrior, as it's gotten more and more popular, it's become just like, how good are you at climbing? Like it's like, can you hold things for a long time? Like I want less like holding and like mountain climb, like rock climbing shit, and more jumping and more like kind of like the old school stuff where you have to get through like maybe a wall's coming at you with different shapes and like cut out of it, and you have to like try and jump through that wall and like land on the other side, like, but you got to make the shape that's coming at you, different things like that, just to make it like a Super Mario game almost. I think that would be fun. Like you go pay like $20 and you just hang out all day and like try to see how far you can get. Maybe there's like 4 different levels.
That would be really, really cool. That would be really cool. I would be all about that. Okay, so I was thinking, like, what if you did, like, a Resident Evil 7, like, haunted mansion experience, you know what I mean?
That would be cool.
Where you're on, like, a little creepy cart, and it's, like, taking you through this scary mansion, and the doors bust open, and, like, dude chases you down the hallway and stuff,
Ooh, I think, honestly, instead of Resident Evil, it would be better for Silent Hill.
Ooh, boy.
Just because that's more horrifying than
or
zombies.
Dead Space. That
Or
would
Dead
be
Space.
good too. Either one. They could be two different
Yeah.
attractions in the same park, actually.
I just don't find Resident Evil that terrifying. Just
Well,
because
Resident
it's-
Evil 7 specifically, I guess.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
a
I'm
little
thinking,
bit more
you know what I mean?
creepy.
I'm kind of like, in my image in my head, I'm going through the Resident Evil 7 house on like a
Mia's
little cart.
just chilling. Yeah. No, I like that one, and like yeah, just as a haunted house. Like there's no like game to it or anything.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like that'd be cool. I
Just
like
like
that.
themed after it, yeah.
Definitely. This one is definitely inspired by the Disney World Star Wars thing that they're doing.
Oh, the Rise of Resistance?
Kind of like
Have you seen that?
where
Like-
you build the lightsaber and
No,
everything?
no. Like the ride they've got over there now, the Rise of Resistance ride.
No, huh? Which
Bro.
is that the one with the Millennium Falcon?
No, this is I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's a different one. This is like the most insane shit I've ever seen as far as like rides go in Disney World. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like.
No, I'm saying, what
branch
is
off.
it?
It's so cool, dude. It starts you off and you're like in this like thing and you're flying. It's like an experience is the best way I could put it. Like, it's like you're in this little cart and like I don't know. It starts you off and you're in the ship and you're flying around and then you get in this cart and you go through all this Star Wars shit and like you basically like the ship takes you to this place and like they have this whole like fake like destroyer ship set up and like one of those big force fields. You know, like the hangars in the show.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
like the force field and all the ships are flying in and landing and shit. It's like they take you into like a big area like that with like a 100 people all actually dressed like stormtroopers, like walking around and shit. Like, and like they do all this shit. Like real lightsabers are like coming through the level at some parts and like fucking like it's just insane how much detail. Like I can't even really explain it. You almost have to go watch like a YouTube video. There's a bunch of them online of people just taking like a camera through, and I'm sure it doesn't really do it justice, but it's like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen as far as like a ride goes. Like,
That sounds super interesting.
sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
that. It's just like amazing to me. Like, you got to check it out. Go on YouTube, check this out if you're listening right now. It's wild, but it'd probably take you like 20 minutes to watch the whole thing because it's a long ass ride.
Definitely not like that. I was thinking more along the lines of the thing where like you go in and you become a Jedi and they give you your lightsaber and you get to customize it and stuff like that. But this one, it would be a Pokemon Training Academy.
Oh, dope.
So it's much like that, but instead of building your own lightsaber, you pick your exclusive starter Pokemon plush from all the starters in the Pokemon history. So you pick that, and then you get a Pokédex that interacts with your Switch when you're back at home or like Pokemon Go. So like you can have this like other, thing that like anytime you catch a Pokemon, you can sync it up like with your Switch and it'll give you the full Pokédex readout and stuff like that. And it talks like the
That
classic.
would be so fucking sick, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Like just for the novelty of it.
You know what
And
else
then-
would be cool? I know, like, the Star Wars thing in Disney World, once you get your lightsaber from that, like, you can take it around the park and interact with stuff in the
Yes.
park. Like, if you got your Pokédex and, like, you saw another Pokemon in the park, that would be cool if, like, some guy dressed in a Charmander suit walked by and your Pokédex was like, Charmander, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah,
That
blah.
would be tight.
You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
the characters dressed up and stuff. Oh yeah,
Yes, that would be sick.
definitely. And then also like themed, Pokemon themed drinks and food and stuff,
Oh,
just like they do
dude.
at the Star Wars experience
I would
thing.
love that, especially with the Sword and Shield food thing that
With the
they
curry.
did recently. A lot of that food looks so good in that game.
Yeah, and they could have like sushi and call it donuts,
Oh,
like they
yeah.
did, like they do in the anime, the American version of it. But anyways, but yeah, like there'd be a bunch of shit that they could do with that. Like in the original Pokemon movie, whenever Brock makes like the Pokemon snacks or whatever, and it's like it looks like little meatballs or whatever. That
Oh
shit.
yeah, dude, I remember that.
I want to know what that tastes
Those
like.
look so good. I always
Yeah, dude.
imagine they were like little kolaches or
Oh
something.
god, it's so good. Anyways, what you got?
Okay, so this is another one I stole from Disney World, but I just think it would be so cool. There's this ride at Disney World called the Carousel of Progress, and basically it just shows how technology has progressed in the past like 60 years, and it starts in like, the 50s and just goes 10 years at a time and shows you like leaps in technology in like your home
Yeah.
system. I think it would be really cool to do like a Carousel of Progress like video game edition.
Starting with like the Atari, or like even go all the way back to like the Space Wars game.
Just kind of like a short, informative thing, and it shows like little clips and how video games have like progressed and like the science behind it and stuff. I think that would be really cool and informative, and it would fit in well in the park. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like that one. And it could have like some weird interactive shit for like each generation.
Totally.
That'd be cool. My last one that I got here is Mario Party. So this is an idea that would feel right at home in the Super Nintendo World theme parks. Like a huge area should be sectioned off into differing sized boards, like life-sized boards. You have to reserve time to do this, obviously. But you roll dice on like a device, like maybe a watch or something that they give you. And on the watch, you see the whole board that you're standing on, so you can see where people are standing at on like which spot. And so like to see where the opponents are, and you can also see where the stars are on the board. And then like you can also use items against them. So like if you get items, you like go to the watch and you're like, okay, I want to use my like steal a star or whatever, and then you get to pick like the person, and then like they get they see it pop up on their thing like, oh fuck, he just took my star. Like
that would be really cool.
It would be tight. I think you could do that with like different types of boards and stuff, and have like interactive and then mini games in between each 4 turns.
I was about to say you could have all the boards kind of go in a square around the middle, and then between turns everybody could just run to the middle of the board and play
like dodgeball or like something random, like literally any mini game.
You could incorporate the AR glasses like you were talking about in that other thing too in this, like you could have any kind of mini game you could think of.
Literally you could everybody
have
has
like an actual like stand on the tile, make the shell uncover the picture thing, what I mean? Like
No, that's a good idea, dude. Yeah, I think a mix of technology right there would make that work really well.
Be really cool. I would play it. I would go just for that.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need the watch with the AR, because you could just have a heads up display.
And when you had to go back to your square, it would just like give you a little path on the floor back to where you're supposed to go. Like
that's awesome, man.
Man, that would be really cool. Okay. I have a few more, but I'm just gonna blast through them real quick, just real fast. First of all, obviously we need a Sonic the Hedgehog roller coaster that goes really fast through gold rings. That just makes sense, right? I mean, am I wrong here? Lots of sounds you could make.
Rolling around at the speed of
if
sound.
It's not playing that song, I don't want that roller coaster.
Got some places to go.
That would be so sick if like right at the part of the fucking roller coaster where you're about to drop, that song just starts playing. Dude, I would fuck with that. Okay, I think it'd be cool to have this is like an arcade thing, but I think it'd be cool to have a VR Smash Bros game where it's like a 1v1 thing, or maybe even 4-player, but like you need multiple people playing, and like you get in these little booths that are like VR booths, and you put on a little headset, and like you actually
just duke it out,
and you throw items and stuff. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Super Smash Bros thing, but I was like, eventually you would have to make contact. Like I feel like it'd be really hard to do. I guess in VR it would be better than AR.
Yeah, VR for sure on this one, because you don't want to accidentally punch each other or break a headset or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, this would be cool. I think the Half-Life gravity gun experience. Okay, so
cool.
Imagine you got like a room with it's like a wind tunnel kind of thing, but like you have a big fake gun, and you like point it at the room, and like wherever you're pointing, like it shoots like a concentrated gust of air into that room, so it feels like you're like levitating stuff with your gun and shit, and you're like throwing it into walls and shit. I feel like that would be kind of cool. I don't know.
Or we just discover gravity propulsion.
We just master theoretical physics for the sake of this ride.
That dude's name, Bob, whatever his name, that went on Joe Rogan.
Oh, Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar, dude.
Yeah.
This would be his technology.
Let's see. Okay. One that I think would be really cool. Back in the day, there was this arcade at Disney World called Disney Quest, and it was just like a VR arcade before like VR was a thing, really. I think it'd be cool to do an arcade like that with a bunch of like video game themed stuff. Like a Mario VR game here and a Zelda VR game over here,
They kind of have those now, like the VR arcades. Like there's one in Spring, actually, called Element VR.
Yeah, I guess I want like a Nintendo-themed one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With like only Nintendo shit. And another cool thing about that place, the Disney Quest, is like it wasn't only VR. One of the rides I went on was like this. It was like a whole front of a pirate ship, and like the whole room you were in was like TV screens like on the ceiling and on the walls and everything. And like pirates would pull up next to you and like they shot at your ship. And when like the cannonball would hit your ship, like the whole room like would move like this, and it would spray
cool.
like water at you and shit. You know, I think it'd be cool to have some kind of interactive experience like that. You know,
that'd be neat.
And last but not least, I think it would be cool to do like a Halo ride where you're like sitting in a car and you're like riding through, and you have like an assault rifle, you know, and stuff's attacking you.
Somebody's
from all
on
sides.
the machine gun up top.
Yeah. Actually, I think that would be perfect. Like, you'd have a driver and a gunner on the side and a machine gun guy on the top. You know?
That'd be really cool.
And everybody's in a warthog, and they're going through this level. Like, I think it'd be cool.
It's just like on a track, but
maybe it's on a track, but also like the guy steering has enough like power to make it go like left and right like a foot, so you do feel like you have some kind of.
Maybe not. Maybe it's a big screen and it's not on. Like, it's obviously going in one direction, but the driver has to like avoid like, you know, running into stuff.
Yeah, like a set path, but you got to not hit rocks and shit.
Yeah, and the vehicle itself is on like one of those systems that like imitates like real life movement and stuff. So like whenever you're up top trying to shoot the gun, you know, like it's moving and all that stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would play that hardcore.
Yeah, for sure. You just get like a dope weapon in the passenger side, like maybe like a battle rifle or something.
I like it.
Okay, well, that was our picks for, you know, video game or live video game attractions that should exist. If you have any cool ones, let us know. Comments, Facebook group. Anyways, we're going to jump on over to the People's Champ. Brent, do we have a champion this week? Did someone rise to the call?
Yes, we have lots of people potentially becoming champions this week. Hang on, let's see what we got here.
Brent's gonna run through that.
Let's see what we got here real quick.
He's gonna keep whispering to all of you.
Okay, we're gonna give it to Hans.
Hold on. Before you give it to Hans, I guess I'll go ahead and read these off on Instagram. I asked people, what rides do you hope Super Nintendo World will have? Before we get away from the topic, you know, I almost forgot about this. Thanks for everybody that wrote in. So we're going to read these off. Geek Vision Productions wrote in and said, warp pipe pneumatic tubes as a fast travel to different points in the park.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Can you imagine?
Blue.
Like, there's not a lawsuit waiting to happen when somebody gets decapitated or like stuck.
You're going to have some Augustus Gloop kid stuck in the tube. Then
they can bring out their little midget slaves.
It would be sweet if it worked, though. It would be like Futurama.
Oompa loompa. This is like, and then IY tool, like I and then Y and then TLE. I don't want to say it wrong or like, you know, but ITOL, I'm just going to say that, wrote in and said, I want to see an obstacle course and a Rosalina space ride. That's actually a pretty good idea. The space ride from like Mario Galaxy would be really epic.
That would be sick.
And we did mention the obstacle course type thing, I guess. And then Gallimer, which is GALLIUMRR, says something to do with the Mario pipe. So this Mario pipe seems to be pretty popular.
They've got to do something about this Mario pipe.
Yeah, maybe like just make the toilets look like Mario pipes.
There's just piranha plants getting shitted on, like.
Because like you know, I mean, the thing that would pop out of it would be the fact that it's a bidet. You know,
that would be so funny if it just popped out and spat water into your ass.
Yeah, like the bidet is like the water is like lit up with LEDs to look red like fire. It just shoots fireballs at your asshole.
That would be hilarious.
Oh yeah, nice and clean. And then the Parkour Journal, AJ over there wrote in and said Conker's Bad Fur Day compilation ride. I don't know how family friendly that would be, but
it would be cool.
It would be very cool. Like maybe you have to like you know, the compilation ride, you like drive by and you have to like throw tickle bees at the flowers.
They need is like adult world in one of the parks.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like where you can drink alcohol and
like
stuff.
Like the rated M part of the park.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so like you can go to the bar from Conker's, like the Cock and Plucker or whatever, and like.
Yeah. I would be cool with just that. Like that would be enough of a nod to Conker for me to be like, that's a dope addition to the fucking.
It would be, and they could get away with it, but like you have to be 21 and up to go in there, and like you can just chill and play like old N64 games and stuff like that.
They could
and
set
drink
it up
beers.
to look just like the Cock and Plucker too. That would be sick.
Yes, dude. And they even have the band of like weasels and stuff.
Even have all like just make the whole room have like blocky N64 graphics.
Oh my gosh, and like Banjo's head on like a plaque up top. Like
that would be so sick. Dude.
Oh my goodness, good call. Good call,
I
AJ.
like that.
Anyways, Brent, take us over to Hans with the People's Champ.
Yes, Hans, this week you are the People's Champ because your question entails VR and it is my birthday. So Hans says, of all of the old school side scrollers, what would be the most horrific one to have turned into a full immersion VR game? I'm kind of thinking of the old school Ghouls and Goblins.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Ghouls and Goblins, like the most horrific one. I feel like either Castlevania or like Demon's Crest.
I could see Castlevania being pretty scary. What's that game where they're like where you're like going into the house and there's like a killer?
Friday the 13th?
No, I can't remember what it's called. It was like a Super Nintendo game. I think it's on the fucking.
It's got to be Friday the 13th. That's the one.
It wasn't like a licensed thing like that. It was like it was one of those where you like push walk or like open door or whatever, and they open the door. I don't know. It would be terrifying.
Yeah, that game. It's like where you walk and open doors.
You know what I mean though, like where you put like the control command, like walk forward or go left or open this, or it's kind of like that.
A point and click,
Tumbleweed
almost.
Park or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Point and click.
Yeah.
I think probably the most terrifying thing would be Super Mario World 2 because that game was fucking weird and trippy.
Oh yeah, that was pretty weird.
That'd be really weird in VR.
I think Centipede would be scary. It'd
just
be like a big black room with this huge fucking centipede
just
going
chasing
around.
you.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it's a good question, Hans.
Good question, Hans. We got, let's see, Cody here. Cody Goolsby. He says, any interest in the new ApocalypseTexas.com event coming in May? Let me look into this real quick.
Yeah, click the link and tell me what that is.
It says, welcome to the apocalypse. Some kind of zombie thing going on here.
Is it like a haunted house? Is this a live video game attraction?
It might be. Hang on, let's see.
How fitting.
Yeah, let's see. It almost seems like a Renaissance Festival, but for apocalypse.
Ooh, like a Mad Max festival?
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be into that. Like, I'd go to that before the Ren Fair. No offense to Ren Fair, but like, I'm not huge into like high fantasy stuff. So like, if they did something like Ren Fair, but it was like space, or if it was like the apocalypse, I'm in.
I think that's what this is. It says, let's see, entertainment. Music, games, performances, fire show, axe throwing, haunted house, vehicle show, dude. Costume contest, swap meet, vendors, escape rooms, dance parties, and much
Where's
more.
This at? When is this happening?
Somewhere in Texas. Hang on, let's see.
That would be a really cool thing to go to, honestly. Like do a live podcast there. I feel like that'd be cool.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. I'm not seeing where it's at in Texas.
It's all right. We'll look that up later. Basically, yes.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah, we're in. We just got to figure out when it is. Anyways, what else we got?
Let's see. We got a couple of happy birthdays to me. Thank you to everybody who told me happy birthday. I love you all. We got Chad McClain here. He says, what was your favorite birthday present growing up?
Oh, shit. I barely remember what I got for my birthday. I think I would usually get like a game or something, but I don't remember what though. Because I bought so many games as a kid.
Yeah, I think one of my birthdays I probably got one of my consoles, and that has to have been You know, I can't put
That's
a
the
finger on it specifically. I think most of the time it was like Christmas.
Christmas was
yeah.
whenever I would get consoles. Birthdays were for games. You know, like that's whenever. Oh, I can remember now. Okay, yes, absolutely remember. And it. Oh man, such a good time. I actually went to your house right after it happened, and you and Chelsea McCracken were hanging out. It was after I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 for the GameCube for my birthday.
Boy.
And I came straight to your house with it. And this was whenever Hastings...
Me and Chelsea would just sit there and play skateboard video games like all day,
yeah,
too.
dude.
So we were probably hyped when you...
It was dope. And I remember it so specifically because it was the last game that I bought at Hastings whenever it was still like over where the Grand Buffet is. Mm-hmm. It was the very last thing I ever bought there. And it was like after they left there, they stopped selling N64 cartridges and stuff like that. But I just remember looking at all the N64 games as I was buying it. But yeah, that was probably my favorite Christmas present was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 as a kid.
Man, that's a good one.
Just because it stands out.
I can't put my finger on like a specific birthday present that I've gotten. I don't know. It's weird. I guess probably some kind of game. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, Chad.
That's all right.
Let's see. We got... Okay. We got Philip Watson Dean here. He says, happy birthday, MFer. What some expensive game gear you would buy if you had a child to claim on taxes? I'll tell you exactly what I would buy. I'd buy the dopest PC you can ever imagine. Because that's already what I'm going to get with my tax return. But I would take it to the next level.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It would be like... some good shit going on over there. You know what I mean?
I think I would probably get like a dope gaming chair just because I have like really bad back issues whenever I'm just sitting there playing games. I found that I can't play games as long as I used to for as long as I used to. Like after about 2 hours, my lower back just fucking kills me. And it's because I sit in like, you know, bar stools or like random chairs. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if I had like a nice, like, lower lumbar support like chair, I'd be good. I think that's something that I would never go out like just on a daily basis or just like on a regular day go out and buy a $200 gaming chair.
No.
But if I had that child to claim on taxes, that's what he'd be used for. Or her.
Yes.
Yeah, they both be used for gaming chairs.
Man, that's one of those things I never think about, but I would really love to have. Like,
yeah, just a really nice one.
You're not wrong about that. Okay, let's see. We have Ben Stewart here. He says,
what's up, Ben?
He says, what movie would you love to have seen made into a video game?
Oh man, there's so many. And so many that were made into a game, but not as good as it could have been. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, I was gonna say, The Matrix. The Matrix game was good, but I really wish they would have just played out like the story. You know,
well, they did.
I know with the Path of Neo, but it wasn't like. And I'm talking about the story from the first movie. Like, I just want to play through the whole first movie.
Path of Neo plays through the first and second movie, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't that good. The Path of Neo wasn't that good, in my opinion. The Enter the Matrix was really good, but it wasn't...
I mean, Path of Neo wasn't great, but it wasn't like the worst game I've ever played either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely agree. They could do a better one, you know?
Or the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games would be a cool game.
You know, I was going to say Battle Royale, but then I thought, you know, maybe that'd be kind of morbid with like all the kid killing, you know? I don't know. I think it would be sick, though.
There's not enough kids killed in games.
That's what I'm saying. We need to kill some kids. God damn it.
Where's the equality? You know, like, kids are people, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like ever since, you know, like, I feel like I couldn't relate to Grand Theft Auto as a kid because I wasn't there. You know, like, and whenever I would play... I wasn't walking around.
Not represented.
Yeah, I wasn't ever getting killed in Grand Theft Auto. Some old Italian guy was, you know,
some hooker.
Yeah, some hooker. You know, I'm just kidding. I don't know. There's a lot of other good movies that could be games though. Maybe just give one good one. Give one good one.
For me, maybe Inception. I know that sounds crazy.
No, that'd be cool.
I think that would be tight.
That'd be a cool VR game.
Yeah, totally. Because you could add like first-person shooter. It'd be like a first-person shooter, just like fucking trippy. I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even have to follow the movie. It could just follow the idea that you're like one of the people that go into other people's dreams, and like you have to complete missions, like Hitman almost.
That would be so sick, dude. Yeah. It would be like a mix between Hitman and Psychonauts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like it.
That would be really cool. Let's see. My sister Allison says, "How old are you? Like 30?"
Damn.
Damn. Yeah, close.
28, right?
28. Yeah, jeez.
We still got 2 years.
2 years. 2 whole years. Yeah.
Don't write us off yet.
Get bent with you, Allie. We got Zach Parton here. He says, is there any game in the competitive online gaming world more toxic than Rocket League? For Rocket League, it's usually not your opponents, but your teammates who are toxic dickbags. And we have Devin Mayer replying to his question in the comments, and he says Rainbow Six Siege is more
League
toxic.
of Legends is more. League of Legends is pure toxicity.
The toxicity.
That album by System of a Down, Toxicity, was actually written about the multiplayer landscape of League of Legends. That's facts.
I gotta say, I've met some horrible people on that Firewall 0 Hour game I was talking so highly of earlier. It's
really?
Still one of the best games I've ever played. But, like, I've met some great people, and I've met some really just shitty fucking pieces of shit on that game. Like,
that's crazy. In a VR game.
It makes it so much worse when you're in VR, because you see their little smug little fucking head going like this and shit, and you're like, fuck you,
Just
know?
bobbing.
Yeah.
That's what haters do. The bob.
Yeah. So we got Devin Mayer here. He says, if you could go back in time to witness any historical gaming moment or era in person, what would it be?
I think I lived through the greatest games and the greatest era of video games. There's honestly no time I would like to go back to. Maybe arcades whenever they were in their heyday, but even that, like, I just don't care. Like, I feel like I came up with the Super Nintendo, the NES, the N64. Like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, for real. What are we gonna do? Go back and see an Atari game get played or some shit?
Yeah,
like,
play
Pitfall.
Get real, Devin.
Ask us the same question in 50 years.
But we already lived through it.
Well, I mean, like, ask somebody else our age in 50 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying.
What are they thinking?
Ask someone now who's like 12, but they don't have a podcast, so they suck. No, just kidding. No, actually, it's a good question. I feel like I'd never really thought about it, but because, like, there wasn't much gaming before us.
Yeah, we didn't really miss much, to be honest with you. Like,
there was the 80s, but the 80s in gaming was like, come on. I bet it would have been cool to be around during like the SNES or like the Nintendo versus Sega stuff. Like, I was too young to know about any of that. Like at the time, like I was just like, oh, Nintendo's the only thing that exists. Like I didn't really know there was a Sega. Like whenever I had my Nintendo.
I think it'd be cool to be there when they came up with the idea for like Mario or something, like be in the room, like a fly on the wall when they like came up with that. I think that'd be kind of neat. Or Donkey Kong or Zelda or anything like that. Just when that idea just suddenly came to light, it'd be like, oh yeah,
they're all just tripping shrooms and stuff. Like.
Let's see, we got Phoenix Williams here. He says, do you have a fond memory of receiving games or gaming paraphernalia as a kid for your birthday, and which was your favorite? We had a similar question a minute ago.
From Chad.
I have a fond memory of a game. It wasn't my favorite, but I remember my grandparents getting me the Blue's Clues video game. And I was really into Blue's Clues as a kid, and I remember playing the shit out of that video game.
You sit down in your thinking chair and think.
Is that actually one of the songs he does?
Yeah, dude, you don't remember that shit?
I remember a lot of the Blue's Clues songs, but I just don't remember that particular thinking chair song.
Dude, we gotta take you back, bro.
I remember the mail song.
Yeah, here's the mail, it never fails, it makes me want to wag my tail. Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, that's the jam.
What are some other good Blue Skidoo? We can too. Yeah, that's a good one. They're all great. I don't think there's a single bad song from
from Blue's
Clues. That was thanks, Phoenix. You just took us on a
trip to memory
nostalgic
lane,
ride through Blue's Clues. But yeah, I already mentioned what my fondest video game gift was, or memory of that gift. Anyways, so that's it for our listener questions. Thank you so much, guys. This was a great week of questions.
Yeah, excellent questions, everyone. Yes.
By the way, we're gonna do a meetup soon at the Game Preserve in spring. It'll be within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna give an exact date on the group, or like I'm gonna post like an invite on the group page, and then everybody who wants to come can just like hit invite or whatever, so, or hit accept, and then we'll all meet up, eat pizza, play NBA Jam, some Gauntlet and shit.
I love it.
Yeah, dude, it'll be tight. Anyways, let's round out the show with Brent's gaming questionnaire segment.
Yes. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Brent's Super Hardcore Video Game Trivia Challenge. Today, we have JAMAL with us, coming all the way from Conroe, Texas. Let's all give JAMAL a big round of applause. You know the rules.
Oh, thank you.
But this time, I'm giving you a lifeline.
What?
You can do a quick Google search. You can go live on Facebook and ask the audience, or you can show the camera your right nipple to skip the question. All right, JAMAL. These are 5 questions, handpicked from a police lineup of questions, so you know they're guilty.
Oh, God.
This week's topic is bullet time.
Oh, shit. I like this.
Okay. All right.
It's very specific.